Chapter 2143. Mi-air had been accompanying Yukuluo. Seeing her hesitating and not daring to take a step forward, he encouraged her. "Auntie, don't be afraid. Come out, I'll bring you out." Yukuluo only regained her senses after hearing his urging. Now was not the time for her to be in a daze. The seal was gone. She had to get out as soon as possible. She carefully took a step forward. The seal that was hindering her was really gone. She was sure that she was really free. Mi-air walked to her side and said sorry. Then grabbed her waist, condensed a protective shield and flew up with her. Sima Yue had been staring at the volcano ever since the Cardinal Point's divine seal landed. Although Mi-air just told her that the situation below was fine, she still couldn't be at ease when she didn't see them come out. Wu Lingyu teleported to her side and held her shoulders to reassure her. At this time, Sima Luxian also came and waited with them. After a while, there was movement below. The three of them smiled. Soon, Mi-air rushed out with Yukuluo. Because Sima Luxian had let her slowly adapt to the light, she didn't have any discomfort when she came out. "Mother!" Sima Yue flew over and hugged Yukuluo. After so many years of hard work and so many years of ups and downs, she finally ushered in this moment. The real touch and the warmth of his body made her eyes turn red. "Child, my child." Yukuluo hugged Sima Yue, proud and distressed. "Mother, I've finally rescued you. Our family is finally reunited." Sima Yue thought that Sima Luxian was still behind her, so she let go of Yukuluo and pulled her to Sima Luxian. "Father, mother, go and have a chat. Lingyu and I will clean up here." The volcano here had been suppressed for so long. Now that the seal was removed, if it wasn't handled properly, it would erupt suddenly. Sima Luxian knew that his daughter was giving them space to reunite, so he pulled Yukuluo to the back of the nearby mountain. Sima Yue saw them disappear from the back of the mountain and smiled mischievously. Wu Lingyu saw her sly smile and flicked her forehead. She smiled helplessly and said, "You." Sima Yue held her aching forehead and said happily, "Let's clean this place up." After Wu Lingyu was ready, she recalled the 4 cardinal divine seal. Without the suppression of the 4 cardinal divine seal, the entire volcano started to shake, and the magma below started to surge upwards. The seal on the mountain pass did not disappear completely. It blocked the path of the magma. As more and more magma surged up, the pressure at the mountain pass increased. If this continued, once all the forces below erupted, this entire area would probably be destroyed. Actually, there was no need for them to care at a time like this. There were no residents here, nor were there any underworld beasts. It was bare everywhere, so it didn't matter even if it was destroyed. However, she had to create some time for her parents so that they could have a heart-to-heart talk before they continued on their way. If she had nothing to do, they would be too embarrassed to have a proper conversation. What Wu Lingyu had to do was to destroy the remaining seal, so that the magma could spurt out. Under Sima Yue's instructions, his movements were surprisingly slow, and he only destroyed it at the last moment. The magma was freed and spewed out from the crater. It flowed down the hole and flowed out far away. Because the seal disappeared, the tightness at the outermost layer also disappeared. Sima Yue and the others went over first. Sima Luxian and Yukuluo waited for a while before coming out. At this time, 2 to 3 hours had passed since Yukuluo came out. "Father, mother, let me introduce you. This is my friend Qin Qin. She will follow us later. This is her boss. Unfortunately, the lady boss is Mou. Unfortunately, she is from the same sect as me. Greetings to uncle and auntie." The 3 of them bowed to Yukuluo. They had heard of this legendary person even in the abyss of hell. They knew what she did, and had always respected and been curious about her. Now that they could meet her in person, they were a little excited. "Thank you for accompanying Yukuluo smiled and said to them. "Auntie, you're welcome. Mother, you've been down there for a long time. Let's find a place to rest for a few days and then rush back." Sima Yue said. "Did something happen?" Yukuluo asked. "Something happened. It was caused by me, so we have to rush back to deal with it." Sima Yue didn't tell her what happened, otherwise, she probably wouldn't have stayed to rest. They followed the route back and went to the city where the abyss of hell and the ghost realm were connected. Not far after passing through this city, they would reach the ghost realm. Sima Yue asked Sima Luxian to accompany Yu Kuluo to recuperate in the inn. They could only go after the lightning tribulation ended. Then they went to the border. When they reached the border, Sima Yue only felt a weak resistance, but Qin Qin felt a strong force stopping her from moving forward. Helplessly, and Mou looked at her from afar. His hand was about to pierce through his palm. Mou crossed her arms in front of her chest and said faintly, "Are you really going to watch her leave?" Helplessly didn't say anything. This had always been her dream. How could he really stop her? Tsk stubborn. Mou looked at him disdainfully, then looked at the tribulation clouds that were beginning to condense in the sky. He sighed. The speed at which the tribulation clouds are condensing is faster than what I've seen before. It seems that the lightning tribulation this time will be difficult. Helplessly looked up at the tribulation clouds and pursed his lips into a line. His body still didn't move. Qin Qin looked at the speed at which the tribulation clouds were condensing above her head, and her face turned pale. She swallowed her saliva and said, "Fellow townsmen, this tribulation cloud is a little fierce. Can you handle it? I won't be struck until nothing is left, right?" She had tried to leave before, but she had never seen such a strong lightning tribulation. Could it be that it knew that she was really going to leave this time? So it came so fiercely? Of course, she didn't dare to face the lightning tribulation in the past. She would run away when the lightning tribulation appeared. Sima Yue saw her scared look and said, "Don't worry, you won't be going through the tribulation alone. I'll go back first." "Hey, what do you mean I won't be going through the tribulation alone? You're running away just like that? Can you not be so tricked?" Qin Qin shouted. She looked at the tribulation clouds and wanted to run away like before. But this time, the tribulation clouds had already formed and locked onto her. Even if she ran, the tribulation clouds would follow her. Helplessly saw Sima Yue return and said, "Little martial ant, why are you back? Didn't you say that you had a way to help her transcend the tribulation?" "I gave her a lot of pills and spirit weapons. Those can help her transcend the tribulation," Sima Yue said seriously. "But can those things block the lightning tribulation?" Helplessly asked with uncertainty. This lightning tribulation seemed a little too powerful. Chapter 2144. Sima Yue was shouting something behind him, but he couldn't hear it anymore. His mind was only filled with what she said about how she didn't expect the lightning tribulation to be so powerful. If she couldn't help, would Qin Qin be able to pass this tribulation? As he ran into the range of the lightning tribulation sensed that someone had joined and became more powerful. The thick dark clouds seemed to be pressing down. The entire sky turned dark. Yu Kuluo and Sima Luxian rushed over and observed the situation from afar. Although Sima Yue asked them to rest in the inn, how could they be at ease? Seeing the lightning tribulation, she was shocked and grabbed Sima Luxian's hand. "Such a powerful lightning tribulation, can they pass it?" "Don't worry, this lightning tribulation is just a piece of cake for our Yu. She has experienced more powerful lightning tribulations countless times," Sima Luxian said. "What kind of tone is that?" Yu Kuluo was unhappy and flung his hand away. "If our daughter had experienced more powerful lightning tribulations, how much pain would she be in? Are you happy? Don't you feel sorry for our daughter?" "Who said I don't? I do. But our daughter is really powerful. She can do many things that others can't. For example, she became friends with the lightning tribulation. She is probably the only one in this world. All right, baby, don't be angry. Let's see how you will deal with it." When Yu Kuluo heard the word baby, the anger in her heart dissipated a lot, but her face was still ugly. Sima Yue felt that someone was coming and turned around to see two people watching from afar. She waved at them and then continued to look at Qin Qin and Lima. "This child's perception is really strong," Yu Kuluo said with a smile. Her words were full of satisfaction. Under the tribulation cloud, Qin Qin looked at Lima, who ran in with a confused face. "Why did you come in?" Lima couldn't say that he ran in on a whim. Qin Qin suddenly thought of something and pushed him fiercely, shouting at him, "Get out! Get out quickly! Otherwise, the lightning tribulation will count you in too." Crackle. The sky was filled with the sound of lightning from time to time, filling the place with tension and fear. When Qin heard the sound of thunder, she was so scared that her body trembled subconsciously. Seeing her reaction, he finally reached out and hugged her. Qin was stunned and forgot to react for a moment. This was the embrace she had longed for a long time, but it felt unreal. You. She spat out a word with some difficulty. She raised her head and fell into his tender eyes, unable to say the rest of her words. I know it's dangerous, but I can't leave you here alone. Limbo whispered in her ear. I can watch you leave, but I can't watch you die in front of me. If we really can't survive this tribulation, then we'll just die together. Qin's tears immediately fell. She couldn't believe what she had just heard. Was he going to live and die with him? If you do this, lady boss? Sure. Helplessness placed a finger on her lips, preventing her from saying the rest of her sentence. There's no lady boss. From the beginning to the end, there was no lady boss. What about Moyu? She's just an actress that I invited to act with me. There's nothing between us. What about your former confidants? My confidant has only been you from the beginning to the end. There's no one else. How is that possible? How is it impossible? Helplessness hugged her. At first, I asked Moyu to come because I wanted you to tell me the truth, not because you didn't care about me all this time. Who knew that little Marshall uncle would come at this time? I know you've always wanted to leave the infernal hell, so I continued to act so that you could make up your mind to leave. If it weren't for this terrifying lightning tribulation, I think I would never have said these words to you in my life. Pa! A bolt of lightning struck down. Helplessness hugged Qin and spun around, coming to her position to take the lightning for her. Ugh! Helplessness was a ghost, so his reaction to lightning was stronger. Although he tried to endure it, she could still see his pain. Qin knew him very well. When he frowned, she knew how much pain he was in. How are you? She supported him, her tears falling uncontrollably. Helplessness knelt on one knee. Her tears dripped onto his hand. He raised his hand to wipe away the tears on her face, comforting her. Don't cry, I'm fine. Why are you so stupid? Qin bit her lip and looked at him. Her heart ached as she shouted at him. Don't you know that's lightning tribulation? What can I do? I just can't watch the woman I love get hurt in front of me. Helplessness's smile was a little annoying, but it made Qin's heart ache. Why did they have to go through all this? Why didn't they make it clear before? If they had made it clear before and expressed their feelings to each other earlier, why would they have to suffer all this? Fool. She reached out and hugged him. If we can get out of here alive, I won't leave. I'll stay with you. No, you should go. You have your dreams outside. You shouldn't be trapped in this small infernal hell. Helplessness said. You don't want to be with me? It was impossible for him to leave the infernal hell. He wanted her to leave. Was he angry with her and didn't want to be with her anymore? Thinking of this, her heart throbbed with pain. Of course I want to be with you. Helplessness pinched her face. Don't let your thoughts run wild. It wasn't easy for me to confess my feelings. How can I let you go just like that? Then Sin Tower and the insect. Sin Tower can continue to operate without us. As for the insect, I've worked for them for so many years. It's time for them to change people. Qin stared at him blankly. She hadn't completely digested what he meant. Helplessness patted her head and laughed at her slow reaction. He said, if you want to go outside and take a look, then go. I don't want to waste my time with you. Naturally, I want to go with you. Let's go out and take a look. Fool, how could I not want you? You're the fool. He gave up so much for her, and ran over to go through the tribulation with her. He couldn't even control his own life and death. However, speaking of the tribulation, hadn't the lightning tribulation already started? After the first lightning tribulation, why hadn't there been any lightning tribulation after they talked for so long? At this level, the lightning tribulation should come one after another. Why hadn't there been any lightning tribulation after such a long time? The two of them raised their heads and saw an unexpected scene. Sima Yue was sitting on the tribulation cloud, smiling at the two of them. Done talking? Isn't it time to go through the tribulation? Sima Yue asked. Damn, why are you up there? Don't tell me you're the lightning tribulation? Qin cried out in shock. If I can become the lightning tribulation, you don't have to go through the tribulation. This guy is the one who controls the lightning tribulation, Sima Yue said as she picked up Cloud Spirit, who was hugging a wine jar. Chapter 2145. The Cloud Spirit was drinking fruit wine when it was suddenly pulled out. It unhappily released a bolt of lightning towards Sima Yue. The lightning circled around Sima Yue's body, and then disappeared. Humph! The Cloud Spirit broke free from her hands unhappily, and continued to drink from the wine jar. This. Qin and the rest were stunned. She was not afraid of lightning and had such a good relationship with it. Was it because of the lightning? The Cloud Spirit finished the fruit wine and put down the jar in satisfaction, saying, "It's time to start the heavenly tribulation. I told you just now you have to take it easy," Sima Yue reminded again. I know. You're such a cheater. Why would you be afraid of this? The Cloud Spirit finished speaking and released a bolt of lightning. However, in order to protect Qin, he had to bear the brunt of the lightning tribulation. Sima Yue sat on the heavenly tribulation cloud and said, "You can't do this. Her body is restricted by the heavenly tribulation. She has to go through the heavenly tribulation to get out. You blocked the heavenly tribulation for her. Do you want her to take a stronger one later?" Helplessly pursed his lips and let go of Qin. Qin looked at the heavenly tribulation cloud. Although she was scared, she still gathered her courage and prepared to be struck. The Cloud Spirit released a bolt of lightning and Qin grimaced in pain. She could not stand properly, but at least she held on. However, before she could rest, the Cloud Spirit released 2 more bolts of lightning and burnt her body. Sima Yue flew down from the heavenly tribulation cloud and landed beside Qin. She took out a pill for her and muttered, "I told you to take the pill earlier, but you didn't listen. You spent all your energy on me. Now do you know the pain?" Qin was in so much pain that she could not speak. She stared straight at Sima Yue and refuted her words with her eyes. She was not being intimate with me. They did not do anything. However, after taking the pill, she felt much better. "You can still stare at me. Seems like you're in good condition. You can take 2 more bolts." Sima Yue patted her burnt body and finally understood how others felt when they looked at them. So ugly. She had no image at all. She got up and handed over some pills to Limbo, letting him eat them first. Then she flew up to the tribulation cloud. Unfortunately, he chose 2 smaller lightning bolts for Qin to take. Even so, Qin took in less air than she took out more air. If there was another one, she would probably die. However, the power of the lightning tribulation was too strong. After receiving the last few bolts, he couldn't withstand it and fell beside Qin. Both of them were lying on the ground, and above their heads were still dark tribulation clouds. If this continued, they would be finished in no time. If only these tribulation clouds could disperse. Unfortunately, things were not as good as they thought. They looked at the tribulation cloud above their heads and could feel that it was brewing a huge tribulation thunder. This was because the middle of the tribulation cloud was a little red. This was a sign that the tribulation lightning was about to descend. Reluctance and self-reproach rose in their hearts at the same time. If he had known earlier, he would have confessed to her earlier. Why did he have to go through so much trouble? If there was a next life, he would definitely cherish it. Pa! A lightning bolt as thick as a bucket fell from the sky. Because their bodies were no longer under their control, they couldn't even close their eyes. They could only watch as it fell quickly. It was over. This time it was really over. Meow. A cat's meow was especially prominent at this moment. What was even more prominent was that the thick lightning bolt disappeared when it neared the ground. What replaced it was a purple cat that appeared in everyone's line of sight. Cat. Yukaluo looked at Little Purple in disbelief. How could a cat appear in such a situation? This was too strange. Qin and Limbo had just survived the tribulation. Before they could rejoice, Little Purple attracted their attention. What exactly was this thing? Chapter 2146. When Sima Yue saw that she had heard everything, She knew that she could no longer hide this matter. Moreover, if she were to return now, she would have to tell her about the situation. After Yukoluo heard this, she was furious. She clenched her fists and said, the last time she came to propose, she wanted to use this as an excuse to start a war. I didn't expect that after hiding for more than 100 years, a war would still happen because of me. If Sima Yue did not want to save her, she would not have asked for the Western God's seal, and would not have given Qing Hun an excuse to send troops. Therefore, she still felt that this matter was caused by her and blamed herself. Mother, although this matter was caused by us, the root of the matter is that Qing Hun was too ambitious. We should not take the blame for other people's mistakes. Sima Yue comforted her. Don't they want me? I want to see what excuse they have to send troops if I go back. No, you can't go back. Yukoluo grabbed her hand. He wants to use you as an excuse. If you go back, he will not spare your life. And I know better than you how selfish the people of the Ghost Realm are. They will definitely sacrifice your life for their own benefits. At that time, Mother. Sima Yue held her hand and comforted her. The person who wants my life has not appeared yet. I know you are very powerful, but that is the army of the two realms. With our strength, it is impossible to defeat them. Yukoluo said. She was once arrogant, but she had lived in the ghost realm since she was young. She knew the power of the army. It was not something that could be stopped by one or two people. Mother, I am not alone. Sima Yue said. I want you to meet a few people. She waved her hand and Huan, Black Shadow and Chanjiu appeared in front of them. Yukoluo did not know the two people in front, but she had seen Chanjiu before. You have already gone back? Yukoluo asked. Actually, she did not need to answer this question. Someone like Chanjiu was here to protect her. If she did not go back, why would Chanjiu be here? Yes, I've already gone back to see my grandmother. Due to some reasons, I'm now the young master of the 9 underworlds. Sima Yue replied. These two are Huan and Black Shadow, the left and right envoys of the Underworld King. Underworld. Yukoluo and Qin Qin both cried out. They did not expect that the legendary underworld actually existed. Sima Yue let the two of them digest the news, then turned to Huan and the others and said, You have already understood the situation inside. Now can I ask for the protection of my family? The 9 Nether clan can reach any place in the ghost realm in a month's time. Chanjiu said, I'll go and send the news back. All right. Tell them to hide well. If I'm not in danger, they don't have to show up. Sima Yue said. Chanjiu nodded and went out to deliver the news. The 9 Nether clan had not come out for so many years because they wanted to live a peaceful life. If it appeared at that time, it would definitely cause a sensation in the entire world of spirits and souls. Sima Yue looked at Huan and Black Shadow again. It's even easier for us, you know. Black Shadow said. But I still have to send the news back first and let them be prepared. Without waiting for Sima Yue to say anything, he said everything and even went out to contact the underworld. Sima Yue looked at Huan. She had not said what she wanted to say yet. Huan returned her a faint look. The meaning was self-evident. What else was there to say? Daring to use her as a shield. These people should be prepared to die. How could the young lady of the underworld be bullied by these ants? Did they think they were dead? Sima Yue understood his gaze, and could not help but twitch the corner of her mouth. Huan and Black Shadow did not feel burdened. Anyway, the Underworld King had told them before that the Underworld would not take the initiative to come out and attack the people of the world of spirits and souls. But if they provoked them, then they could not be blamed for being ruthless. Soon, Black Shadow and Chanjiu came back. Yukoluo and Qin Qin had almost digested the news. Since they had made the decision, they had to rush back with all their might. 2 months had passed, and she still had not rushed back. For the first time, she felt that it was not a good thing to have a big place. Seeing that it was almost time for her and Mulan to meet, her heart was burning with anxiety. There is still no movement in the nearby cities, which means that the final war has not started yet. Yukoluo said, We should still have a few days. I hope so. Sima Yue did not want a war. When she and Mou met in the human realm, Mou had seen the chaos in the world of spirits and said that it was caused by her. So she was especially worried that this matter would cause a big explosion. A few days later, they arrived at the immortal witch city and saw the scene that she did not want to see the most. The war had broken out. When they came out of the teleportation array in the city, they saw the sky full of flames of war outside. Because the immortal witch city had a defensive array, it was still considered safe. But the surrounding earth was shaking, and the city was shaking along with it. Sima Yue looked up and saw underworld skills and corpses flying all over the sky. The defensive array was already on the verge of collapse. They have already started fighting, Yu Keluo said. We have to find Qing Han and the rest and capture them. Only then can we stop the war. Let's go to the city lord's residence to take a look, Sima Yue said. These people are cousins' people. His appearance will raise the morale. But if we go out, other than putting ourselves in danger, we won't be able to do anything. She was right. If they went out now, they would not be able to do anything, other than putting themselves in danger. Immortal Witch City was already in chaos. They took the opportunity to go to the city lord's residence. Although it was chaos outside, the city lord's residence was still heavily guarded. There were twice as many guards as the last time she came. Sima Yue's heart sank when she saw the situation. There was only one reason for such an obvious difference. Deja was here and his life was in danger. Thinking of this, she was extremely anxious. She wanted to go in but was stopped by the new guards. Stop. This is the city lord's residence. Outsiders are not allowed to enter. I want to see Deja. Sima Yue said, who knew that before she could finish her sentence, a group of guards suddenly rushed out and surrounded them. What are you doing? Sima Yue asked in a low voice. That person did not answer her. He only waved his hand and said, capture them. When those people came up, Sima Yue immediately took action and beat them up. But before she could say anything, many more people ran out from inside. They did not say anything and started to capture them. Sima Yue beat up the last person and said, if you come again, I will be ruthless. Spy, capture them. The people who just ran out were about to take action when an agitated voice came from inside. Stop. Chapter 2147. Sima Yue looked at the person who walked out. Luckily they knew each other. Little princess. De bowed to Sima Yue. When he got up, he saw Yu Keluo and was stunned. De, where's cousin? Sima Yue asked. Master is inside and his condition is not good. Please follow me. De walked in after speaking. Sima Yue and the rest quickly followed. This time, no one dared to stop them. How is cousin? How did he get injured? What exactly happened? Sima Yue asked as they walked. Little princess, don't worry. Master is fine. De said. Fine? Didn't they say that he was seriously ill? And these guards? Sima Yue asked. That was announced to the public. De said. At that time, everyone was asking Master to hand over the little princess. Master was pestered and had no choice but to think of this method with Lord Mou to get out of the public's sight, so as to avoid being annoyed by them. But they are fighting now and he hasn't gone out yet? Sima Yue frowned. This is not a full-blown war. Those who are fighting are those who are clamoring to hand over the little princess. De said. Master said that these people always think that they are unbeatable and don't care about us. Now that something has really happened, let them take care of it themselves. That's good. Hearing him say that, Sima Yue's heart calmed down. Although she did not want others to support her, she did not want to do anything for such people. And with Master like this, those people will not be able to ask about your whereabouts. De said. It has been hard on cousin. Sima Yue felt that Deja had done a lot for her, and she felt that she could not repay him. Master hopes that little princess is safe. He will be happy as long as you are safe. De knew how to speak up for his master. Sima Yue smiled. Is Mou inside too? Yu Keluo asked. Yes, princess. De was more respectful to Yu Keluo and seemed closer to Sima Yue. Master said that those people are about to reach their limits and cannot let Qing Han and the rest enter the ghost region. Hence, He had a final discussion with Lord Mou. And it should be about time. Sima Yue and Yue spoke Yue and the other guards saw De and no one came out to stop them. Hence, they directly went to the place where De was unconscious. And Sima Yue and Sima Yue. Yue and Sima Yue's where Yue was outside. Calm and Yue and Sima Yue and Yue went in Yue, and the others knew Yue. And the others were sensible know what's? In the room, Deja sat by the bed in his pajamas. Not far from the head of the bed, there was an overturned cup on the ground. Speak. When Deja saw Yukuluo who was beside Sima Yue, his eyes widened. Auntie, Deja shouted. His eyes, which were usually fierce, were a little red. Xiaozha. Yukuluo went over and pinched his cheeks. You've lost weight. Aunt, you're finally out. Deja realized that everyone was looking at him, so he stopped his words in time. I heard from you, Heir, that you did a lot of things to save me. It's been hard on you all these years. Yukuluo said with heartache. As long as I can save Aunt, everything will be worth it. Deja looked at Sima Yue. She did a lot of things. Only she could save you. Without your help, she might not have succeeded. I will remember this favor. Yukuluo said. Sima Yue sat down beside Mou. Mou placed the teacup on the table and smiled. You're capable. Of course. Sima Yue lifted her chin proudly. Whatever she wanted to do, as long as it was not impossible, no matter how difficult it was, she would do it. Cocky. Then have you thought of how to solve the current situation? Mou asked. Don't they want my life? Let's see if they have the life to take it. Sima Yue sneered. Those who always think that they have the ability to unify the world of spirits and souls. I wonder how they will feel when they see their dreams being destroyed. So cruel. Mou looked at her with disdain. Sima Yue smiled. Thank you for the compliment. Since you're so confident, why don't you give us a hint? Wait for what? You'll know in 2 days. So you're saying that there will be a result in 2 days. When I came here, I released many scarlet bees to gather information. Just now, I think that Qing Hun will start his full attack tomorrow. You just need to drag it out for these 2 days. You mean, King? King is coming out of seclusion? Mou's voice was a little excited, attracting the attention of the two who were talking. Grandfather is coming out of seclusion? Deja asked. I guessed it too, Sima Yue said. But the soul imprint that grandfather left in my sea of consciousness has been fluctuating greatly these 2 days, so I think he should be coming out of seclusion. But Qing Hun and your grandfather's abilities are on par. Even if he comes out of seclusion, he won't be able to destroy Qing Hun's dream like you said. Mou said. Who said that grandfather's abilities will be on par with Qing Hun when he comes out? Sima Yue said proudly. They will be very different. Don't tell me he can still advance? Mou felt that she was a little overconfident. Then let's wait for grandfather to come out of seclusion and see. Sima Yue did not argue with him. That's the good news. What if King doesn't come out of seclusion? How are we going to solve the problem in front of us? Mou asked. Then I'll find someone to solve it. Sima Yue said. Qing Hun wants me, right? Let's see if he can afford it. Mou looked at Sima Yue's cold smile and felt that Qing Hun might have really kicked an iron plate this time. His army, he did not know if they could return alive, and did not know if he would still have the life to continue sitting in his position. One was to live and watch his dreams shatter in front of his eyes, the other was to lose his life and not be able to do anything. No matter what the situation was, to him, it was a kind of cruelty. Master, those Wangya are here again. De said outside. When Deja heard this, his smiling face immediately turned gloomy. Those few people are the ones who kept pestering you to hand me over? Anaheim's people? Sima Yue guessed correctly. That's right. Didn't you say that Anaheim and Qing Hun are in cahoots? Why is she still jumping around? Didn't you think of a way to kill her? Chapter 2148. How do you know that Anaheim is colluding with Qing Hun? Deja asked. Mulan told me. Sima Yue said. Seems like Avicii's information network in the Ghost Society is more powerful than we expected. Deja said. We only found out about this recently, but because of the current situation, it's useless to say it. Also, we don't have any direct evidence. Mulan shared this piece of information as a gesture of goodwill. Also, this time we were able to delay for so long because he promised to give me 3 months. He said that he could guarantee that Qing Hun wouldn't attack the Ghost Society during this time, so that I would have time to save my mother. Sima Yue said. But this Onihime is still here. It's really troublesome. No wonder Qing Hun didn't attack even though he was guarding outside for 3 months. I thought it was a trap, but I didn't expect this to happen. Deja finally understood what was going on. Actually, it's more appropriate to leave Onihime to your grandfather, Mou said. Then let her live for 2 more days. Sima Yue snorted. She was still in a bad mood. Master, how do we deal with those people? De asked outside. Originally, Deja and Mou had already agreed to give them some face, but they couldn't harm the interests of the Soul Society, so they stopped pretending for 2 days. But now that the plan had changed, he definitely couldn't wake up. After some arrangements, those Wangye came in. When they saw Deja and the doctor lying on the bed, they asked, "How is General D?" "He's still the same Sai." The doctor shook his head helplessly. "Is there no way to make him wake up faster? We can't hold on any longer." "Old Wangye, what do you mean you can't hold on any longer? Is Qing Hun going to break through your defense line?" Mou asked casually. Not yet, but it will be soon," the old prince said. "When will General wake up? Didn't you say that Deja was useless? You said that it's the same with or without him. Why do you want him to wake up now?" Mou said mockingly. "Lord Mou, don't make fun of us." Old Wangye didn't get angry this time. Instead, he said good-naturedly, "In the past we didn't realize the importance of General D, so we didn't believe him. Now we understand." "Really? Of course it's true. Then I'll believe you this once." After Mou finished speaking, he came to Deja's side and gave him a pill to eat. Then he said, "I just got this pill and didn't have time to let him try it. If he could wake up after eating it, he would be able to move in 2 days. If he doesn't wake up, then just pretend that he never existed." Several Wangye stared at Deja. No one doubted his words. Because they knew that although Mou had a big temper and a strange personality, he had always disdained to lie. Who knew that he had lied to them? Now their attention was on Deja. They wanted to know if he would wake up. "You must wake up." But an hour passed, 2 hours passed, and Deja didn't make any moves. Finally, half a day passed. Just as they were about to be completely disappointed, Deja's fingers moved slightly. This slight change was immediately noticed by the old Wangye who had been staring at him. He moved. He moved. He really moved. Really? That's great. The old Wangye were very excited. They had hope now that he woke up. Deja slowly opened his eyes. For a moment he didn't know where he was. "General." "Old Wangye, General is a responsible person. Now that he's awake, he won't leave the ghost realm alone. His body is still very weak. You'd better let him rest in peace for a few days." Mou emphasized the word peace. Old Wangye and the others understood what he meant. But he was right. It was impossible for Deja to wake up now. "Then we'll go back first. I hope General can recover soon. We might not be able to hold on for 2 days." Old Wangye finished speaking and left with his men. After they left, Deja got up from the bed. His face was very gloomy. After being stared at by them for so long, it really made him angry. "I thought you would make them wait even longer," Mou said lightly. "Try being stared at by a group of people you don't like." Deja snorted. It was obvious that he was very unhappy. Moreover, these people weren't real enemies. They weren't Onihime or Pure Souls people. So even if he wanted to teach them a lesson, there should be a limit. Besides, it was time for him to wake up. Now let's see if they can hold on for 2 days. Mou felt that he shouldn't expect too much from these people. "Let's see. I'll go look for Auntie." Deja changed his clothes and went to look for Yukuluo. When he went to the place where they were staying, he saw the family of 3 talking in the pavilion in the courtyard. The three of them had smiles on their faces, and the atmosphere was harmonious. Outside Sorcerer Immortal City, the battle that happened every day finally ended. Qing Hun sat in the military camp. Che He and a few other commanders were also present. Your Honor, we've been like this for a month. Every day is like scratching an itch. It's so boring. When can we really go and attack them? A man with a beard that looked like a giant asked impatiently. This person was Commander Luo of the 9 Commanders. He was the most impulsive and warlike person. He was the vanguard this time. He liked real battles and not these small skirmishes every day. So when Qing Hun only asked him to send a small number of people to battle, he was very angry. That's right. Your Honor, we've been waiting here for 2 months. What are we waiting for? Another person asked. Your Honor and Mulan had some matters. He made Your Honor promise to wait for 3 months. Che He said. What? What right does that Mulan have to interfere with our matters? Your Honor, why did you promise him? Commander Luo shouted in dissatisfaction, causing Che He to angrily rebuke him. Commander Luo, watch your words. Che He frowned. Seeing that Che He was angry, Commander Luo didn't dare to rebuke him like before. However, he was still very unhappy. Your Honor has his reasons for doing this. Hua Wuxiang could still be considered to be calm. Qing Hun didn't want any internal problems to happen at this time. He also couldn't let the morale drop. He said, Mulan saved my life indirectly before. I once promised him that I would agree to one of his requests. He used this to request Your Honor to wait for 3 months? Commander Luo asked. That's right. But these 3 months are very precious to us. If we delay the battle because of this, Qing Hun shook his head. I have to find a chance to repay this favor. Only then can I send my troops to hell. If he asks me to retreat when I'm sending my troops, wouldn't it be more troublesome? Chapter 2149. It turned out that His Honor didn't agree because he wanted to return the favor, but because he had a long-term plan. Thinking that they would have to send troops to hell in the future, it was worth it even if they had to suffer a little. Thinking of this, the commander's mood became better. Also, we have been doing this for a month. Those people are already used to us. When we really send troops, we can still catch them off guard. Che He said, being used to it is the scariest, because it will numb them and make them lose their sense of urgency. But His Honor, why did Mulan ask you to delay the dispatch of troops for 3 months? Commander Luo asked. Could it be an explosion? Is the Abyss going to cooperate with the Ghost Society? No, he promised not to cooperate with the Ghost Society. He can't go against it. Qing Hun said. As for why 3 months, it is to wait for Sima Yue to come back. That woman is in the Abyss? When Che He mentioned Sima Yue, he subconsciously clenched his fists. The hatred in his heart couldn't help but surge. It was all because of her. She gave him the greatest humiliation in his life, made him the laughingstock of the Soul Society, and even caused his master to lose the Western God's seal. If he caught her, he would definitely repay her kindness. So Sima Yue is coming back? When Hua Wuxiang mentioned Sima Yue, her heart was filled with hatred. If it wasn't for her, he wouldn't be in such a miserable situation now. I think it should be within these 2 days. If she can come back, we will deal with her together. If she can't come back, we will start after we take down the Ghost Society. Qing Hun also didn't want to keep Sima Yue alive. Compared to her mother, he disliked her even more. This woman was very young, but she was very talented. Moreover, she had a strong personality and was bold in doing things. She was also an enemy. Once she grew up, she would definitely be a huge threat to the Soul Society. Therefore, this time he hoped that Sima Yue could come back. Only by dealing with her together, he would feel at ease. Sometimes he would think that he was too concerned about Sima Yue, but when he thought about the things she did, he felt that he wasn't too much. If he underestimated her, he would be too much to himself. His Honor, are we still continuing tomorrow? Before His Honor could say anything, someone came back with a piece of news. When Qing Hun saw the message, he waved his hand and dismissed the man. Then he said to Che He, send out the troops tomorrow. What happened? Deja has woken up. He needs 2 days to recover. Qing Hun said. And 3 months have passed. Deja was their biggest enemy now. With the help of Anaheim, he could still hold his own and keep the ghost realm from falling into chaos. Now that he was awake, they had to take down the ghost domain before he recovered. All right, I'll lead the troops out tomorrow. Commander Luo was the happiest. After being sullen for so long, he could finally fight a good battle. Seeing that everyone was in high spirits, Qing Hun smiled and said, "Go and prepare." On the morning of the second day, the guards of the immortal shaman city discovered the approaching army. The people who were observing the situation were stunned when they saw the black mass. They were stunned for a while before they said to their subordinates, "Quick, go and inform Wang Ye that the Soul Society is attacking." This time, it wasn't a small fight, it was a real army. The people of the immortal shaman city panicked and ran to find the old Wang Ye. The old Wang Ye had never experienced such things before. In front of them were small fights between different dynasties. This level of fighting was related to the future war of the ghost domain. They were all panicking. If the skin doesn't exist, where will the hair go? If the ghost domain was ruled by Qing Hun, what were they going to do? Don't just stand there, go and send them to fight. The old Wang Ye shouted. Tell them that they must protect the immortal shaman city. If the city is gone, they don't have to be there. Only then did those people realize that the war was about to start. When Deja heard the news, he wasn't surprised because they had already expected it. There were their own people over there, and there were also people over there. Thus, the news of him waking up couldn't be hidden. Once the other side knew that he woke up, they would definitely take action. Do you think they can hold on for 2 days? Sima Yue asked. 2 days? It's not bad if they can hold on for half a day. Deja said. You can't overestimate them. It's not bad if they can hold on for half a day. After all, they didn't drag you down like Anaheim. Yukuluo said. That's true, Deja replied. I'll go and prepare first. Okay. Be careful, Yukuluo urged. I know, Aunt. The safety of the ghost domain required his protection. Although he had planned it with MOU for a long time, he still needed to handle it at the last moment. Mother, I'm afraid that cousin won't be able to hold on until grandfather comes out. Let's go and meet Qing Hun. Sima Yue smiled mischievously. Okay. Back then, when he changed my seal, you had to go through so much trouble. We should go and tell him that we're back. Yukuluo said seriously. Sima Luxian looked at the mother and daughter who looked alike and had similar personalities. He felt that his heart was full. After half a day, the few old Wang Ye felt that they couldn't hold on any longer. The attacks from the soul domain were more ferocious than they expected. They thought that they could hold on for more than a day. Now, it seemed that it would be good if they could escape unscathed. Wang Ye, we can't hold on any longer. A guard ran over and said to the Wang Ye who was guarding at the back, You guys should go back quickly. Those old Wang Ye couldn't go personally. They were protected by 3 layers of people. Now that they couldn't hold on any longer, the best way was to go back to the Shaman Immortal City and use the teleportation array to leave this place. Deja's people aren't willing to listen to our commands. Otherwise, why would they end up like this? Let's go quickly. Otherwise, we'll all die here. No. We can't retreat. Once we retreat, everyone behind us will be in danger. No matter what, we have to hold on. But, no buts. No one is allowed to leave this place. Even if we go back, where can we escape to? You sigh? Then let's go. I hope that the other places can hold on as well. After saying that, the few old guys let the guards go and fight. They also went personally. Just when they couldn't hold on any longer, the people from the Shaman Immortal City opened the gate from the inside. Old Wang Ye felt the movement behind him. He turned around and was about to scold the person who was messing around. Before he could say anything, he saw Deja riding out on the underworld beast. He couldn't help but tear up. As he came out, many soldiers quickly gathered around the Shaman Immortal City. When Chehi saw those people outside the city, his eyes narrowed. His people didn't realize that there were Deja's people outside the city. It seemed that these people weren't easy to deal with. Chapter 2150. General? Don't you still need a day or 2 to recover? Awangya was surprised and surprised. Lord Mo, you used a secret method. Deja said lightly. As for what the secret method is, you can ask Mo yourselves if you dare to go. He rode his mount to the front of the group and looked at Che-hee. Che-hee saw him appear and mocked. Deja, you finally appeared. I thought you were going to hide forever. Hide? Do I need to hide to deal with you? Deja looked back at him with contempt. My cousin alone can capture you and your 2 subordinates. As a former prisoner, how can you have the nerve to bark here? I'll kill you right now, and then I'll capture her and eat her. Speaking of which, her soul is really delicious. Eating it will definitely improve my skills. Che-hee licked his lips as he spoke. TSK, you? It seems that you have forgotten that last time my cousin captured you and your 2 subordinates alone, and locked you in the spirit stone. The angrier he was, the happier Deja was talking about this matter. If you want to eat her, go ahead. Let's see if you will eat her or if she will defeat you again. But I think that if you do it again, Qing Hun will not have any treasures to exchange with her. At that time, will you still be able to keep your life? The little princess is mighty. The little princess is mighty. When the soldiers heard that the insufferably arrogant Che-hee had actually been defeated and imprisoned by Sima Yu, their morale immediately soared. Even the men of the Duke, who had been beaten back repeatedly, swept away their decadence and their faces were full of excitement. When the people opposite them heard that their high and mighty general was imprisoned by the other party's little princess, they looked at Che-hee in shock. The momentum of both sides suddenly reversed. Che-hee calmed down at this time and sneered. At that time, she only succeeded because she cheated. What's the use of being happy now? On the contrary, you should hate her. It is because of what she did that this war started. She is not your benefactor, but your sinner. Because of her, even if you don't die, you will be prisoners forever. Ha ha ha. His unbridled laughter silenced the crowd. They remembered that when the Soul Society's army approached them, they wanted to hand over Sima Yue. Previously, they were still wondering why the Soul Society hated Sima Yue so much. So it was because of this. Jiahe, you're King bullshitting. Di Lu stood behind Deja and scolded. The Soul Society has been trying to invade the Ghost Society for hundreds of years. Previously, you wanted to use the Dark Princess as an excuse, but my princess would rather be suppressed than to do as you wish. Now you want to use my little princess as an excuse. Why are the people of the Soul Society so shameless? It has only been a year since the little princess went to the Soul Society. Can the Soul Society nurture so many elite soldiers in just a year? De sneered. Don't use others to build a monument to your reputation. Those who were confused at the beginning were now awake. De was right. If they hadn't prepared beforehand, how could they have gathered so many soldiers here in such a short period of time? Commander De is right. Even if the little princess didn't exist, you would find other excuses to send your soldiers. Since that's the case, why don't you let the little princess imprison all of you? A soldier shouted. That's right. Don't try to sow discord. Prisoners will always be prisoners. You're so shameless even when doing things. The soldiers' morale was even higher. They weren't affected by Jiahe's words. Deja smiled. He looked at Jiahe and smiled proudly. Jiahe, the soldiers of the Ghost Society are all sensible people. It's useless for you to sow discord. I didn't expect it to be of any use. Jiahe wasn't anxious. You only have so few people. No matter how much noise you make, you won't be able to change the fact that you're all going to be exterminated today. Many more people rushed over before Mihi's voice had even faded away. In terms of numbers, the difference between the two sides was almost 10-1. Not only that, Qing Hun also appeared in the sky above the troops. Look, you're reading Crazy Wife, Divine Doctor 5th Miss. Chapter 2150. Divine Doctor. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter can't be connected to the previous chapter. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Then search Crazy Wife, Divine Doctor 5th Miss. Watch. Chapter 2151. Pft. Many people laughed. Her words were so domineering. As a prisoner, Che-hee was not worthy of her showing up. Now that you, a domain overlord, are here, you are worthy of her showing up. She, a little princess, is equal to your soul overlord. Isn't the soul overlord lower than the ghost overlord? Other than a sharp tongue, what else do you have? Qing Hun was not angry, at least on the surface. That's a lot. When you submit to the ghost overlord, I will tell you slowly. Sima Yue said. While there is still some time, you can continue dreaming. Qing Hun looked at Yu Kaluo and said, Kaluo, long time no see. Really? I don't think so. For you it's better to never see you. Yu Kaluo smiled. After so many years, you are still so heartless to me. Qing Hun said sadly. He did not know if he was pretending or really sad. He glanced at Sima Luxian and said, This is the man you chose? A human with nothing? Who said he has nothing? Yu Kaluo said, You don't have any good points. The most important thing is that he has me, but you don't. If it was not for the occasion, Sima Yue would definitely praise her mother. She was too domineering. Mother is right. My father not only has my mother, but also me. My father has such a talented daughter like me. What do you have? Sima Yue agreed. Oh no, you have your general. It's a pity that he is my prisoner. This was torture. He was alone and yet he was insulted by her like this. Sima Luxian's heart was warm. His wife and daughter were so protective of him. Even if he had nothing here, he would be satisfied with them. Qing Hun's face was completely dark. Good. What a good pair of mother and daughter. Dija saw the dark faces of Qing Hun, Chehi and the others and was in a good mood. Don't not step on other people's sore feet. Such people, once there is a weakness, step on it with all your might. But after being happy, he was worried again. Sima Yue and the others were comfortable now, but Qing Hun was indeed angry. If he made a move, who could stop him? Qing Hun no longer concealed his murderous intent. He looked at Sima Yue and said, My goal was clear from the start. Dija, as long as you hand Sima Yue over, I will retreat today. Otherwise, today will be the day you all die. Some people were tempted. If Sima Yue's life could be exchanged for the lives of so many people, it would be worth it. This was especially true for the old Wangya. They already had such thoughts. After experiencing the battle in the morning, Sima Yue's appearance and Qing Hun's words, they started to think about it. They really wanted Dija to agree, but if Dija decided to wash his hands of these things, they would definitely die if Qing Hun attacked them again. The main reason was that Qing Hun was too unreliable. Even if they retreated today, they could still come back tomorrow, and it wouldn't go against his words. Why don't we? Someone in the army wanted to agree, but before he could finish his sentence, he was beaten unconscious by the surrounding D family soldiers. Whoever dared to say that he wanted the little princess to go, they would beat him up until his parents couldn't recognize him. After beating him up, the person straightened his clothes and stood up straight again, as if nothing had happened. The person lying on the ground was kicked to the back, and no one wanted to take him away. When the others saw the small commotion, they smiled. Those who had other thoughts didn't dare to say anything. It wasn't that they didn't want to, but they realized that this wasn't a place where they had the final say. Even if they shouted, it would be useless. It would also cause Dija's dissatisfaction, and they would have a hard time in the future. You want to catch Yue? Sure, but you have to step over our bodies first. Dija said firmly. Dija, don't think that you're powerful just because you're the general of the ghost realm. Even if all of you work together, it would be easy for me to take your life. Qing Hun said. I know. But as long as I'm alive, I won't let you touch her. Dija didn't back down. Even if his strength wasn't enough, he couldn't lose in terms of momentum. Then I'll finish you off first. Qing Hun said as he disappeared, and reappeared in front of Dija. General. Master. When the people below saw the scene, they all cried out. I'll tell you now, what's the difference in strength? Dija felt the power rushing towards him, and his heart was slightly shocked. When he was about to react, he found that he couldn't move his body. He could only watch as Qing Hun's palm came towards his head. Was he going to die? His heart was unwilling, and he wanted to break free, but it was futile. He didn't want to close his eyes and wait for death, so he glared at Qing Hun. When Qing Hun's hand was only a few centimeters away from him, A hand grabbed his arm, and he found that he could move. Before he could react, he was pulled away. At the same time, a figure appeared beside him, and lightly caught Qing Hun's palm. "Thank you." Deja looked at Wu Lingyu and said gratefully. Wu Lingyu nodded slightly, and then looked at Qing Hun. Qing Hun was very wary of Wu Lingyu's sudden appearance. The last time they met, he didn't make a move, so he didn't know his strength. He didn't expect him to be a tough one. His figure suddenly moved, and he attacked Sima Yue. Wu Lingyu was furious, and chased after him. He teleported in front of him, and attacked him before he could make a move on Sima Yue. The two of them fought, and their movements were so fast that everyone present was dazzled. Raindrops fell from the sky, and it was actually raining now? Sima Yue's heart sank. Wu Lingyu's strength couldn't be compared to Qing Hun, and if this continued, he wouldn't be able to take it. Quan Haing, go and protect Lingyu. She called out the three people who were hiding in the sky, and asked them to save Wu Lingyu. Wu Lingyu was hit by Qing Hun, and Haing just happened to catch him, while Huan attacked Qing Hun. "Lingyu, how are you?" Sima Yue flew over, and supported Wu Lingyu. She saw that his face was pale, and his body was unstable, and cold air was coming out of his body. She helped him onto Yukelyuo's underworld beast, and let Haing stay here to protect him, Yukelyuo and the rest. She called out He Yin, and jumped onto its back. "Qing Hun, you harmed my mother more than 100 years ago, and now you hurt my lover, and you still want to meddle in the ghost realm. It's reasonable that I won't spare your life today." The wind whistled, and her long hair fluttered in the wind. She handed over all her beasts, and they appeared behind her one by one, like stars surrounding the moon. The last time she called out all her beasts, it was at Fair Eastern City. At that time, it shocked a group of people, and it was the same now. Little Birdie turned into a flaming vermilion bird, and flew around her. Little Hua directly spat out balls of flames from its mouth, and rubbed them in its hands, and threw them towards the people from the Soul Society. Chapter 2152. It was just a small fireball, but it burned a huge hole in the army of the Soul Society. The people in the area didn't even have time to scream before they turned into black smoke and dissipated. The power of this flame was not much weaker than the vermilion bird beside her. Everyone was shocked. Where did that little thing come from? Why did she have so many powerful flames around her? Before they could recover from their shock, Little Purple started to move. Yep, it really just moved its hands. However, it only moved its little hand, and a few bolts of lightning struck down, and the people of the nuptial clan who were struck by the lightning vanished into thin air. Little Purple usually didn't listen to her, and was very cold. But it could only bully Yu. These bastards were nothing to it. Seeing this scene, the people from the Ghost clan remembered what Sima Yue did outside Yangcheng. If she attracted the lightning tribulation, then wouldn't they all be struck to the point where not even dregs would be left? Luckily, they didn't say that they would use her as an exchange. If not, the lightning wouldn't strike those people, but them. Sima Yue didn't care about their shock. She brought Little Black to the ground and patted its head. She pointed at Chi He and said, "Little Black, do you see that fellow in the middle? Go, bite him to death." Woof woof woof. Little Black barked twice to show that it understood. Chi He was furious. So many of his men had been killed by the contract beast she had summoned. This was enough to make him furious. He didn't expect her to let a dog with no spiritual power humiliate him. But soon, he realized that something was wrong. Little Black ran over very quickly. When it ran over, his people attacked it, but it didn't seem to feel anything. No, to be exact, those attacks didn't seem to have any effect on it. Little Black came to the front of Chi He's mount. Its small body was very small in front of the mount. It couldn't reach Chi He at all. Woof woof woof. These people were too tall. It was very angry. Chi He's mount didn't even care about it. It stretched out one leg and wanted to trample it to death. Little Black jumped up angrily. What a dog! The huge foot landed right on top of it, leaving a footprint on the ground. Such a dog dared to come out and show off. Many people's attention was attracted by Little Black. Now that they saw it being stepped into the pit, they felt that it must have been trampled to death. You have the nerve to bring out such a disgraceful fellow. Chow He looked down at the pit on the ground and said disdainfully. It was Sima Yoyue's fire, and the little kitten that could release electricity that scared them, causing them to panic. Looking at it now, he was just scaring himself. This was just an ordinary underworld dog. Ong! The mount suddenly let out a sharp roar, and its body couldn't help but retreat. The foot that was stuck in the pit was pulled out. The flesh on the huge foot and the instep was gone, leaving only white bones. And on the white bones, there was a dark and swarthy hell dog. He didn't die? Everyone was stunned. Was that really the underworld dog? Not only was he not trampled to death, he even managed to bite off all the meat on his mount's leg? While he was distracted, half of his mount's leg was bitten off. With this speed, how was he biting off meat? And with his small body, how did he eat the meat that was several times bigger than his body into his stomach? Little Black followed the mount's leg and bit up. No matter how the mount tried to shake him off, it couldn't shake him off. Soon, Xiao He climbed up its legs and onto its back, biting at Chi He. If Xiao He still felt that it was an ordinary underworld dog at this time, he wouldn't be worthy of his status. When Little He rushed over, he kicked his mount and flew into the air so that Little He couldn't bite him. Even though his reaction and speed were very fast, he was still bitten by Little Black. A piece of flesh was bitten off his calf that he had painstakingly cultivated. Xiao He's heart ached. This body was cultivated bit by bit, and now so much of it was bitten off by this beast. Xiao He was angry, but Little Black was even more angry than him. This fellow was bullying him. You're reading Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Divine Doctor. Chapter 2152. Crazy Wife. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter can't be connected to the previous chapter. Please search the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Then search Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Divine Doctor. Watch. Chapter 2153. Although Wu Lingyu was slightly injured, he still teleported to her side immediately and reached out to support her. Sima Luxian and Yu Keluo also flew over and said, "Is it the same as before?" Deja wanted to come over, but the battle had already started. He was entangled and couldn't come over at all. Sima Yue leaned into Wu Lingyu's arms, her face pale. Seeing their concerned eyes, she wanted to say that she was fine, but when she opened her mouth, she couldn't even say a word. She could only blink her eyes as an answer. It seems that it really has something to do with father's advancement. Yu Keluo said. If this continues, how can she bear it? But we can't touch father's soul imprint now. Puffed. Someone took advantage of their distraction to sneak an attack, and was killed by Chanjiu. Attack over there. Whoever kills Sima Yue will be rewarded with 500,000 top-grade crystals. Hua Wuxiang raised her voice. 500,000 top-grade crystals. Everyone's eyes were red, not to mention the ordinary soldiers. They had never seen so many top-grade crystals in their lives. It was very tempting even for those who were strong. They could directly absorb the spiritual energy inside the top-grade crystal stones, and the spiritual energy inside was very abundant. They could also exchange it for a lot of cultivation resources. They could improve their strength by a lot. In an instant, the number of people attacking here increased by dozens of times, and many strong old fellows also joined in. Although Black Shadow, Chanjiu, and the others had killed quite a number of people, they continued to kill and attack. The endless stream of people made it difficult for them to keep up. Mou flew over from the city gate and joined in the battle. Yu Keluo and Sima Luxian called out all the underworld beasts, but they couldn't resist the human wave tactic. I think you guys really want money more than life, then I'll fulfill your wish. Little Purple was angry. It flew into the air. Its small body turned into a purple cloud. The purple cloud grew rapidly, and soon covered a large area. As long as it released lightning, the people in the area below would not be spared. It was the first time Sima Yue saw Little Purple's body. She didn't expect it to be a purple tribulation cloud. Seeing that there were many ghost clansmen below, she shouted at Little Purple, "Little Purple, come back!" Little Purple did not listen, and was still preparing the thunder tribulation in the air. All the sins you have committed will be put on her head. Are you sure you want her to bear those? A dignified female voice came from the sky. Just one sentence made Little Purple stop. When Sima Yue and Yu Kaluo heard this, their bodies trembled as they looked in the direction of the voice. Chan Shan came out of the space, and a group of people came out from behind her. They quickly went forward to protect Sima Yue. Mother. Grandmother. Chan Shan only glanced at the two of them, then continued to look at Little Purple, saying, "Last time she killed a large number of living beings, and had that death trial. You don't know what will happen if you do it again." What would happen? As a lightning tribulation, of course it knew. Moreover, you attacked indiscriminately and killed a member of the Ghost clan. How do you want this little princess to face her clansmen in the future? Chan Shan's words poked at Little Purple's heart, making it regain its rationality. Then, the purple cloud slowly gathered and turned into a kitten, falling into Sima Yue's arms. Sima Yue hugged it and kissed it gently on the head to calm its emotions. Squeak squeak. Little Flame ran to Little Purple's head and stepped on it hard to express its dissatisfaction. "This fellow almost killed you. Even if those people broke through their defense, there was still it. Whoever came, it would burn them to death." Little Birdie had been at loggerheads with Little Flame ever since it came. At this moment, it also stood on the same side and pecked at Little Purple's head. "Who are you people?" Ruins Valley saw a group of people suddenly appear, and became vigilant. These people's aura was different from the others. They could not be ordinary people. "You don't have the right to talk to me." Chan Shan did not even look at him, blatantly ignoring him. "Huan, stop first." Soon, Huan appeared beside Sima Yue. Then, Qing Hun also returned and landed on top of the team. "Qing Hun, you've got guts." Chan Shan looked at him condescendingly. "I said that I want to maintain the peace of the Ghost realm. You treat my words as wind that blows through the hall, right? Or do you really think that you're the ruler of this world just because the 9th Nether clan has not appeared in the world all these years?" Qing Hun, who was insufferably arrogant just a moment ago, could not refute a single word at this moment. "It seems that you've realized who the real ruler of the Ghost realm is," Chan Shan said. "Let's talk about business and private matters. You dare to use my granddaughter as an excuse to realize your ambition. You've got guts." Qing Hun looked at her in shock, then looked at Sima Yue. She was actually her grandmother. "Don't act like you don't know. As the young master of the 9th Nether clan, Yue has such a strong aura of the 9th Nether clan. How can you not see it? Don't tell me that your eyesight is not good recently." Chan Shan sneered. "I really don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't." "Wouldn't what? Wouldn't you use her name, or wouldn't you kill her? Or wouldn't you deal with the Ghost realm?" Chan Shan's tone became harsher as she spoke. "When I was grooming you all, I said that you can only reach this level. A tripartite balance. No one is allowed to destroy it. If I don't appear in the world, you can inflate your ambition." Sima Yue then knew that the current structure of the Ghost realm was controlled by the 9th Nether clan, and it was the best management model for the Ghost realm. Those old Wangya knew some things about the 9th Nether clan, but they had not appeared in the world for too long, and they had slowly forgotten about it. They did not expect that Sima Yue had the bloodline of the 9th Nether clan, and she was even the young master of the 9th Nether clan. This was simply too inconceivable. At this moment, they were once again glad that they did not push Sima Yue out, or else they would not even know how they died. "Oh, it's quite lively here." Another voice came from the sky. "Why have you all stopped? Not fighting anymore?" Everyone raised their heads to look, but they did not see any space passage. They only saw a lot of black fog rapidly emerging, and then gathered to form people. And these people were all dressed in the same black clothes as the Black Shadows. They did not have the aura of the Ghost clan, nor did they have the aura of the Soul clan, but they felt a strong power from them. Then, a huge skeleton chair suddenly appeared in the sky, and before everyone could take a closer look, a devilish man appeared on the chair. The man smiled at them. It was supposed to be a refreshing feeling, but they felt the call of death. Ming looked at Qing Hun and the people from the Soul clan, his right hand playing with the thumb ring, and said faintly, "I heard that you all want to deal with the girl from the underworld? Huh?" Chapter 2154. A Girl from the Underworld? Everyone's gaze landed on Sima Yue. She was the only one who could be called a girl here. Moreover, the people around her were dressed the same as these people. It should be her. However, she was not from the underworld. Also, what kind of place was the underworld? Many people had never heard of the underworld and did not know how powerful it was. Therefore, these people did not look particularly shocked when they saw Ming. They did not know because their levels were not high enough. They did not have the right to know about these things. As for those with high levels, they had heard about the legends of the underworld. In particular, Qing Hun and his subordinates had discussed this before. Therefore, they knew about the status of the underworld and the underworld king. They did not expect that even such a person would come for her. Qing Hun looked at Sima Yue. His heart was in turmoil. He had always felt that Sima Yue was extraordinary. He had always been worried that she would grow up. However, he did not expect that although she had not grown up, she had already found herself a strong protective umbrella. Ming saw that Sima Yue did not look right. With a wave of his hand, Sima Yue went to his big chair. He grabbed her hand and checked it. He frowned. Why did you choose to come at this time? If we did not come, wouldn't you be in danger? Sima Yue understood what danger he was talking about. She also knew the state of her sea of consciousness. She shrugged and said, "Who knew that it would happen at this time? This is something that goes against the heavens. We can't predict what kind of danger will happen." Nonsense. Ming scolded with a dark face. The price of going against the heavens. Sima Yue waved her hand. I feel terrible. Can't you be quiet? Underworld King. Everyone else. Only the people from the underworld were relatively calm. This was because they had seen this kind of interaction before. Nether King. I heard that the underworld and the ghost realm have an agreement to not interfere with the matters of the ghost realm. Qing Hun said. By doing this, are you going against the agreement? Ming shifted his attention away from Sima Yue and looked at Qing Hun. Kid, it seems like you know a lot about the underworld. You even know about the agreement between the underworld and the ghost realm. When Qing Hun heard this, his heart relaxed slightly. As long as this matter was true, today's matter would be easy to handle. Chan Shan wanted to balance the situation in the world of spirits and souls, so he would definitely not punish him. But that was not the case for Ming. He had never come into contact with this person before, so he had no idea what was going on. But Ming didn't intend to let him be happy for long. She paused for a moment and said, It's a pity that you don't know what the agreement is. What is it? The previous agreement was that the underworld could not take the initiative to pick a fight with the ghost realm, but if someone bullies the people of the underworld or my people, I can also intervene. This is a private matter. She is clearly the little princess of the ghost realm. How could she be someone from the underworld? So you said. It's rare for me to be in a good mood today, so I'll explain it to you. Black Shadow. Black Shadow stood in front and said, when young Miss came to the ghost realm from the human realm, she accidentally came to the underworld and fell in love with King. No, they had similar interests, so King recognized her as his family. Everyone in the underworld calls her young Mississippi. She is also our master. You heard that? Ming said faintly. Qing Hun didn't expect that there was such a thing in between. No wonder when Sima Yue treated the underworld king like that, the people of the underworld didn't seem to be surprised. My young miss is low-key and never uses the underworld to protect herself. But there are always so many blind people who want to bully my young miss and kill her. King, young miss is kind, so you have to uphold justice for young miss. Black Shadow continued. He spoke with great emotion. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Why did she feel that his words sounded so strange? I only have one family member now, and she is being tormented by you all. Say, if I don't do anything, will you bully me next time? Once the underworld king released his aura, everyone below felt a strong pressure, especially the people from the Soul Society who were close to him. Many of them couldn't take it, and directly turned into black smoke and dissipated. Only Chan Shan and the people from the Abyss clan weren't affected. Sima Yue saw that even Deja and the rest felt uncomfortable. She pulled on his clothes and shook her head at him. Ming glared at her, as if saying that she was a disappointment. But in the end, his heart softened and he retracted his aura. Sima Yue smiled at him gratefully. The Ghost King's soul imprint in her consciousness calmed down, and she felt much better. She stood up and went to Chan Shan's side saying, "Grandmother, I have discussed with father and mother. Today, Qing Hun must take his life. Can't you give him some other punishment and let him go?" Chan Shan asked. "He has his own ambitions, that's understandable. But I can't stand it when you're making fun of me and my mother," Sima Yue said. If he didn't cause trouble there and sent people to kill father and mother in the human realm, mother wouldn't have been forced to come back. Then, he wanted to use the proposal as an excuse to send troops to the ghost realm. Mother didn't want to marry him, and didn't want the people to be involved in the war. She had no choice but to suppress herself and not see the light of day for more than 100 years. What about him? Because his plan didn't succeed, he actually changed Mother's seal. If he didn't get the North God seal by chance, Mother would never be able to leave that dark place. Our family of 3 can't take this lying down. Also, he used me as an excuse to send troops to the ghost realm. Now he even hurt Ling Yu. No matter what, I can't let him go. Qing Hun clenched his fists, his lowered eyes hid the murderous intent in his eyes. Sima Yue still felt it. She looked at him and continued to say to Chan Shan, "Grandmother, I'm not a kind person, and I'm not someone who will smile when someone wants to kill me. On the contrary, I'm someone who will take revenge for the smallest grievance. I know you need him to maintain the balance in the ghost realm, but he's not the only one. If he can do it, others can do it too. If grandmother insists on protecting him today, then I can only blame myself for being unfilial." Chan Shan looked at her determined eyes inside. "Then we'll do as you say." Qing Hun raised his head when he heard this. He couldn't believe that Chan Shan gave up on him so quickly. Why? He was asking himself, and also asking Chan Shan. Chan Shan held Sima Yue's hand and looked at him. "Because she's my granddaughter. And this is what she wants to do." "Ha ha." Qing Hun laughed. "You're giving up on me just because of this? I've been managing the Soul Society for you for so many years, and my hard work can't even compare to her words." Chapter 2155. You've worked hard, but you've also enjoyed the same rights. It's my right to continue using you. Not using you doesn't mean I owe you. Qing Hun, after so many years you've forgotten your duty. Chan Shan flicked his long sleeves and said angrily, "Duty? What is duty? Obediently waiting for death?" Qing Hun shouted, "Is it that if you want me to die, I'll die? Is this my duty?" Ugh! Sima Yue's head hurt again, and this time it was especially intense, causing her body to tremble. Other people's soul imprints in their bodies would not have any reaction. Could it be that he was really defying the heavens and advancing? That's why there was such a reaction? The overwhelming pain in her sea of consciousness made her unable to think, even unable to breathe. She felt someone hugging her, someone injecting spiritual energy into her, someone entering her sea of consciousness, wanting her to calm down. But she could no longer distinguish who was who. Seeing her like this, everyone's heart ached and they were worried. Wu Lingyu hugged her, Chan Shan injected spiritual energy into her, and Ming controlled her sea of consciousness. The others were all pushed outside by the 3, unable to do anything but worry. Fortunately, she did not last long this time, and very soon she woke up again. "Grandfather has advanced." She weakly said a few words, and at this time, all of her spiritual energy suddenly rushed towards the ghost realm's imperial capital. Even so far away, she could still feel some movement here, not knowing what was going on in the imperial capital. "Little princess," said King, "could it be that King has advanced?" The Ghost King had been in seclusion for so many years, such a big movement. Other than advancing to the Emperor realm, no one could create such a big movement. Did he succeed in advancing? It should be. Such a big movement. If he really succeeded in advancing, then King is an Emperor realm? But didn't they say that no one can advance to the Emperor realm now? How did King succeed? Maybe he used some secret technique? If he really succeeded in advancing, then no one will dare to have any ideas about us in the future. Everyone was discussing animatedly. At first they were shocked, but later, They became excited and agitated. Qing Han was stunned. The Ghost King had advanced? How could he have advanced? How could he have advanced? He didn't even advance. How could he? All the astonishment eventually turned into anger. Although he had no evidence, his intuition told him that the advancement of the Ghost King had something to do with Sima Yue. Furthermore, from the way she looked like she was in pain, it seemed like she had some sort of connection with the Ghost King. The Ghost King had yet to truly advance. If he destroyed it at this time, perhaps he wouldn't be able to advance. Coupled with the fact that he wanted his life just now and Chan Shan's indifference towards him, all sorts of emotions surged up and made him lose his rationality in an instant. Taking advantage of the fact that everyone's attention was still on the capital city, he attacked Sima Yue. Whether or not he could survive today, even if he died, he would drag her down with him. Who was the person he hated the most in his life? It would definitely be Sima Yue. He had only met her a few times, and he knew that she had only existed for such a short period of time, but she had destroyed all of his efforts, destroyed all of his beautiful future, and shattered all of his hopes. How could a person who hadn't grown up make people despair to such an extent? How could he? Qing Han's body stopped in the air. Everyone looked at him and saw that his entire chest was empty. All of his life had disappeared instantly. Ming hadn't retracted his outstretched hand. He clenched his 5 fingers and Qing Han turned into black smoke and disappeared. The Soul Society's supremacy actually died just like that. He actually died just like that. Everyone looked at Ming with fear in their eyes. They were afraid that his strength wasn't as simple as that of an emperor. Ming retracted his hand and snorted coldly. Everyone who heard his words were speechless. Just like that, he really thinks that he's someone important. The people from the Soul Society were stunned when they saw their ruler die just like that. And be the crazy wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor, that you read chapter 2155. Crazy Wife. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter can't be connected to the previous chapter. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After entering, search for Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor. Watch. Chapter 2156. Sima Yue wasn't looking for death, and Ming couldn't bear to kill her. But everyone could feel his anger. Ming, we don't have time. Sima Yue looked at him with pleading eyes. Ming was so angry that his teeth itched, especially when he saw her eyes. He really wanted to crush her and rebuild her. You're challenging my limits. Ming pursed his lips. When this is over, I'll make you a year's worth of delicious food. Sima Yue said. Who cares? Ming said this, but the aura on his body was much calmer. He came to the middle of the seats and sat down. Fortunately, his throne was big enough, so it was still very spacious even when Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu, Chan Shan, Yu Kuluo and Sima Luxian sat on it. His throne was actually taken by someone else, and it was even used as a teleportation array. Just thinking about it made him feel depressed. A faint halo appeared on the throne, enveloping the entire throne, and then it disappeared from the sky. Dilu looked at the empty sky and said, Master, should we go back? Deja thought for a while and said, let's restore order here first before going back. It would take a long time for him to rush back, and if something really happened, he wouldn't be able to go back in time. So it was better to settle things here first before going back. Witchcraft Immortal City and the nearby cities had experienced many battles, and it was more important to restore order now. And he believed in Sima Yue. With her around, nothing would happen. It definitely wouldn't. At this moment, the imperial capital was like an empty city. Normally, one couldn't see the end of the city, and the bustling scene had all disappeared. All that was left was an empty city, and the tribulation clouds in the sky were about to press down on them. A few days ago, everyone had vaguely felt that something was wrong. The spiritual energy was gathering in the direction of the palace, and it became more and more obvious as time passed. 2 days ago, it had become a whirlpool that was crazily pouring into the palace. No one had ever seen such a commotion before. And today, tribulation clouds appeared in the sky, thanks to the incident where Sima Yue taught you how a lesson. The people in the imperial capital had a certain understanding of the tribulation clouds. Therefore, when they saw the tribulation clouds, everyone ran outside like crazy. They couldn't fly in the imperial capital, but they couldn't care less about that now. For a moment, the sky was filled with people flying out of the city. Fortunately, everyone was heading in the same direction, so there was no collision. As for those who could break through the void, they did so and left. Those who had teleportation arrays on hand had all used them. As long as they could escape from the imperial capital as soon as possible, they could discuss the terrifying lightning tribulation no matter what the method or price was. In less than an hour, the imperial capital became an empty city. Ming had noticed what was going on here, so she led them out of the room. It was Sima Yoyue's first time sitting on the throne with him, so the experience of going from the immortal witchcraft city to the imperial capital in just a few minutes was faster than riding a rocket in her previous life. Your throne is too miraculous. When are you going to get me one too? You won't have to go through so much trouble in the future. She sat on the throne. If it wasn't for the fact that it wasn't the right time, she really wanted to admire his throne. With your current state, even if I give it to you, you won't be able to control it. This is related to one's strength. You probably won't even be able to use a teleportation array. Ming said disdainfully. I won't always be this weak. Sima Yue retorted. What you say makes sense. Ming couldn't be bothered with her. With a wave of his hand, other than Chanshan, everyone else left. Chanshan also got up, looking at the thick tribulation clouds. His eyes flashed with worry. With such thick tribulation clouds, I'm afraid the entire imperial capital won't be able to survive. Yukulua was still very attached to the place where she grew up. Ming watched them. Don't let them go in. Sima Yue said. You want to go in? Grandfather hasn't completely advanced. This lightning tribulation doesn't want him to go through the tribulation afterwards. It wants to destroy him when he's advancing. It won't let him advance. With such a strong lightning tribulation, even if you go in, it won't be of any use. You're reading Crazy Wife, Divine Dr. 5th Miss. Chapter 2156. Crazy Wife. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter and the previous chapter's content can't be connected. Please search the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After going in, search for Crazy Wife, Divine Dr. 5th Miss. Watch. Chapter 2157. Han Shan and Han Feng looked at each other, hesitated for a while, and finally flew away. Sima Yu saw that they had really left. She looked around the place of seclusion to make sure that no one was left behind. The place of seclusion was also well closed. Then she placed Little Purple on top of the seclusion room. Little Purple, you can't be willful this time. You must protect grandfather well, okay? Sima Yue reminded it again and again. When was I willful? Little Purple complained unhappily. It was never willful, okay? Yes, Little Purple, you are not willful at all. Sima Yue nodded seriously, but the expression on her face obviously meant that only Little Purple would believe it. But she also knew that Little Purple would not screw her up on important matters. She patted its head, jumped up, and flew to the top of the thunder cloud. You guys are too daring. How dare you do such a thing? The cloud spirit scolded as soon as it saw her. Do you know that what you're doing will destroy you and this world? Because of the way of heaven? Sima Yue asked. The way of heaven doesn't allow, so everyone can only stop here? What is the way of heaven? Who controls it? Why should my fate be controlled by others? You want to change the way of heaven. No matter whether you succeed or not, it is a matter of the future. The cloud spirit said seriously. But now, the way of heaven is still the same. You have to do as it says. You can't even get through today. How can you talk about the future? Change, we can't always think about the future. Sima Yue said. That will never change. If you want to change without enough power, you are looking for death. The cloud spirit shouted. You'd better think about how to get through today's tribulation first. The cloud spirit snorted. I know you are doing it for my good, but I didn't know there would be such a powerful thunder tribulation. Can't you help me? Sima Yue squatted down and poked the angry cloud spirit with her finger. If I didn't come to help you, the thunder tribulation would have already fallen. The cloud spirit snorted. Otherwise, do you think you can come back and do so much for him? How could those people not be swept into the tribulation lightning? Letting those people go, not treating them as people who are going through the tribulation, and not increasing the intensity of the lightning tribulation, is already the best I can do for you. If someone was about to advance to the Imperial Emperor realm in such a place, it would definitely attract the attention of the Heavenly Tao. As the executor of the Heavenly Tao, it couldn't go too easy on them at a time like this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to explain itself. Then, is there a limit to the number of times this time, or will it only stop after the person is killed? Sima Yue asked. The second one, Cloud Spirit said. So both of you have to die today. Sigh, it's a pity that there won't be any fruit wine to drink in the future. I say, give me the rest of your fruit wine. At least there's still some left. Sima Yue. This little guy was really asking for a beating. Are you just going to watch me die? She didn't say anything else and just stared at it. Cloud Spirit was still waiting for her to beg her, but in the end, this fellow was also annoying. Her gaze was more piercing than any words. You have his soul imprint in your body. It's useless to extract it now. Cloud Spirit said. Then what should I do? I'll just chop you to death. Cloud Spirit. Okay, don't look at me like that. I'll tell you. Cloud Spirit said. But no one has ever survived this kind of lightning tribulation. I don't know if this will be useful. I can only say that this is the most possible way I can think of. What way? Tell me quickly. He can advance, which means that he found a way to complete the incomplete Heavenly Tao. But the Heavenly Tao doesn't know yet. If you can let the Heavenly Tao acknowledge your way, then the ending may be changed. I'm just saying that it's possible. Cloud Spirit said. If there was any way, this was the most reliable way. I understand what you mean. Sima Yue touched its head and said gratefully, thank you. Hurry up and go down. It's about to start. Cloud Spirit avoided her hand in disdain. Sima Yue took out all the fruit wine. The Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Miracle Doctor that you read. Chapter 2157. Miracle Doctor. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter and the content of the previous chapter can't be connected. Please search the hidden part on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Then search for Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Miracle Doctor. Watch it. Chapter 2158. Sima Yue felt that if she could survive this time, she must do what she wanted to do and do what she wanted to do in time. For example, to eat someone. There were many things that she wanted to do before but did not do. If she really died here today, then she would never have the chance to do those things. The lightning tribulation was getting stronger and stronger. Sima Yue, who was used to being struck by lightning, could not withstand more than a few of them. Soon, she was struck and fell down. This did not include the lightning tribulation that was absorbed by Little Purple. If not for Little Purple, she would have died. Lying on the ground, she looked at the lightning tribulation clouds in the sky and sighed at the strength of heaven. The lightning tribulations that she had faced before were nothing compared to this. However, after she fell down, the lightning tribulation did not strike her anymore. Instead, it would fall near her every time. Only some small lightning tribulation in the middle would fall on her. She knew that the Cloud Spirit was going easy on her. It was protecting her to the best of its ability. However, it was merciless when it struck her grandfather. The lightning tribulation was so fierce that her heart trembled when she saw it. Fortunately, there was Little Purple. It was really powerful this time. Wang! There was a vibration in the cultivation room. Then, there was a rainbow-colored light above the cultivation room. Seeing this, Sima Yue felt more at ease. At least he had leveled up. If he could pass this tribulation, he would be an emperor. The door of the cultivation room opened, and the Ghost King came out. When he opened the door, he saw the elixir and the essence of the spirit tree. Sima Yue was afraid that when he came out, she would be gone or unable to speak. So, she put the elixir at the door and left a note to tell him what it was. The Ghost King looked at the elixir and smiled. His aura was still a little weak and had not settled down completely, but it gave people a feeling of emptiness. When his aura settled down, he would look like Ant Foam. He ate the elixir and looked up at the lightning tribulation clouds in the sky. There was no fear in his eyes. He came to Sima Yue and waved his hand to set up a barrier to protect her. At this time, the lightning tribulation fell. He did not have time to say anything to her and quickly flew into the sky. As soon as he came out, all the lightning tribulation fell on him. The tribulation clouds had become even stronger after he had advanced to the next level. Sima Yue lay on the ground and watched in horror. Outside the tribulation clouds, countless people saw the Ghost King come out of seclusion. They saw him advance to the Imperial Emperor realm. He was known as the only person to advance to the Imperial Emperor realm in so many years. Everyone was boiling with excitement, as if they had seen a bright future. If King could advance, it meant that this world could advance, and they had hope. They were so excited that they didn't even think about it. The heavenly Tao hadn't changed, and they had no way to advance. As for the method used by the Ghost King, could they use it? How could they have such resources? Unfortunately, they were too excited to realize this problem. This lightning tribulation is a death tribulation. Chan Shan said. Death calamity. Everyone's faces changed. They all knew what a death tribulation was. The lightning tribulation wouldn't stop until the person was struck to death. Wu Lingyu was worried that Yue would be struck to death. She tried to break free but to no avail. Dark, let go of me, he roared. Let you go? Let you die? Dark said faintly. Although I'm not interested in your life and death, I promised her that I won't let you go. Dark King, let us go. It's too cruel to watch your daughter die in front of you, Sima Luxian said. Cruel? It has nothing to do with me. It's not cruel to me, Dark said. Everyone. Dark saw that they were struggling and snorted coldly. Just give up. I've promised everything, and there's nothing I can't do. Chan Shan was also restrained, but unlike them, she couldn't move at all. She turned her head to look at Dark and said, Do you have a way? What way? Dark asked. Stop pretending. I know you care about Yue. You're not worried at all. Is there any way to save her? Chan Shan asked. Dark thought for a while, then shook his head honestly and said, No. Black Shadow and Huan, who had just rushed over, saw this scene and couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths. Black Shadow cried out, My king, that's a death tribulation. If you don't save Miss, what will Miss do? Shut up. She's not dead yet. What are you howling for? Dark slapped Black Shadow and sent him flying. Soon, the Black Shadow ran back while howling. Huan glanced at Black Shadow faintly, then looked at Dark and said, My king, what should we do about Miss? He was still asking him for a solution in a roundabout way. What should we do? Ming grunted coldly. Both of you fuck off. You've been chattering since the moment you arrived. How annoying. Black Shadow and Huan. My king, you've never been so anxious before. You're obviously very worried. Why are you pretending? Someone snorted in his heart. Dark saw the look in Black Shadow's eyes. How could he not know what he meant? He wanted to slap him again. Black Shadow quickly retreated. Umph. Dark snorted, then looked at Sima Yue lying on the ground and said, Why aren't you taking out that damn dog of yours to block the tribulation for you? Are you going to drag it down with you? His voice was not loud, but Sima Yue could still hear it clearly. Damn dog. Little Black? She didn't know if Little Black would be angry and bite him when he heard this name. However, she knew that he definitely didn't mention Little Black casually at this time. Otherwise, why would he only mention Little Black among the guys inside? Moreover, Little Black's identity was special. The last lightning tribulation didn't kill it, but only sealed it. This time, the lightning tribulation shouldn't take its life. As for those who were making a lot of noise inside, it was better not to let them out. If they couldn't find a solution to this kind of lightning tribulation, they wouldn't be able to do anything except hurt everyone together. After resting for so long, she felt that she could move her body. She reached out and patted Little Black's head, then said, Little Black, I know that you're very confused a lot of times. You don't know who you are, or how you came to be. Last time, the lightning tribulation sealed you. I don't know if it can remove your seal this time. If it can, I hope that you'll still be you after the seal is removed. Woof woof woof. Little Black barked twice at Sima Yue. Yu, what are you talking about? It's so profound. I don't understand. What a powerful lightning tribulation. I'll protect you. After barking twice, Little Black ran out. Chapter 2159. With Little Black, she didn't know if the cloud spirit felt relieved or if it was because of Little Black himself. But there were a lot more tribulation lightning here, and all of them entered Little Black's body. Sima Yue looked at Little Black, hoping that he could hold on. What's the situation with that dog? The people outside were surprised to see Little Black withstanding so many tribulation lightning. A dog that was not struck to death by lightning, and could still sit on the barrier, as if nothing had happened after withstanding so many tribulation lightning. Was this still a dog? I've long heard that the little princess has a powerful dog by her side. It's said that she brought it with her since she was young. I don't know where such a dog came from. If you have such a dog by your side, you won't be afraid of the tribulation lightning. You can get the little princess's things? You must be dreaming. That's right. That damn dog only has this little use. Ming heard those envious voices and said indifferently. Huan and Black Shadow. They all knew Little Black's identity, so they knew how rare it was. Only their king would look down on it so much. The Ghost King can't hold on any longer. Huan said. After suffering so many tribulation lightning, it's already good that he didn't die. Ming snorted. Miss and the Ghost King can't go on like this, they will be struck to death. Black Shadow said anxiously. The tribulation lightning had been going on for so long, but its power had not weakened at all. Instead, it was getting stronger and stronger. After doing something that goes against the heavenly Tao, they still have to be struck. Ming said, Yue isn't worried. Why are you guys so worried? King, you mean Miss deliberately let the Ghost King be struck? Black Shadow reacted, why? After thinking about it, Huan understood and said, no matter what method they use to advance, if they are not recognized by the heavenly Tao, they will always be somewhat incomplete. If we let it go, even if he advances now, he won't make much progress in the future. It's better to take this opportunity to make up for the incomplete heavenly Tao. I see. Black Shadow moved. I say, can you be a little more careful? You are my subordinate. How embarrassing is it for you to go out like this? Ming said disdainfully. Black Shadow retorted. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. I've never seen you grow. Get out of my way. Ming said disdainfully and then said to Huan. You should teach him more when you have time in the future. It's too embarrassing to go out like this. How can such a person be the left and right? This is the king's own choice. Huan responded faintly. Is it really my choice? Why would I choose him? Ming was stunned. You're not lying to me? I dare not. All right, I must have been out of my mind at that time. It wasn't normal. Why didn't you? Black Shadows US of course Miss Yuet, US SSUE. In fact, Ming didn't want to explain it to him, but he felt that the others who were bound by him were looking at him. If he didn't make them feel at ease, they wouldn't be content. So he said, it's easy to solve the problem in front of us, but it's also difficult. It's nothing more than having the heavenly Tao acknowledge it. If you can advance, it means that that thing can make up for the heavenly Tao. As long as it's domineering enough, there's no problem. The chaotic river. Black Shadow finally became smart for once. Miss seems to be hesitating. The others also noticed that Sima Yue was holding the jade bottle in her hand, and had not moved. She was hesitating whether to release the chaos in it. What is she hesitating about? She knows it herself. Sima Yue lay on the ground, holding the jade bottle tightly in her hand. Fall. Or not fall. What was she hesitating about? Of course, it was because water was conductive. What if the water didn't make the heavenly Tao recognize it? But with the power of the thunder tribulation, they would die directly. Bang. The Ghost King, who had suffered too much thunder tribulation, finally couldn't hold on and fell heavily to the ground. At the same time, the enchantment also dissipated. Little Black also fell beside her. The little guy had been struck so hard that not a single strand of hair was left. When it saw Sima Yue, it whimpered twice, as if blaming itself for not being able to continue protecting her. Sima Yue struggled to get up, and carried it to the Ghost King's side. A bolt of thunder tribulation fell, causing her to fall down and lie on the ground. Little Purple came to her side and also fell down. "How are you?" The Ghost King struggled to get up and wanted to come over to see her, but he was struck by the thunder tribulation. However, he still insisted on walking over. Sima Yue passed the jade bottle to him, and told him what the cloud spirit said. Then she said, "If you feel that the heavenly Tao in your body has been replenished, try opening this. That's our only hope. Hold on a little longer." The Ghost King set up a very small enchantment beside her. He looked up at the thunder tribulation, and felt that it was brewing another big thunder tribulation. And he had a feeling that the thunder tribulation this time wouldn't be easy. He looked down at the jade bottle in his hand. Should he try it? He didn't mind, but he didn't want to implicate his granddaughter. He smiled bitterly. Did they have a choice? He opened the lid and poured out the chaotic river water. The river water quickly drowned the two people, the cat and the dog. The river water spread and almost covered the entire kingdom. Black Shadow saw this scene and couldn't help but sigh. Did Miss move the river from the chaotic world here? All the onlookers were stunned by the Ghost King's actions. What was he trying to do? Was he going to drown the entire kingdom? After pouring out all the water, he sat down cross-legged and waited for the last thunder tribulation. If this method didn't work, then the thunder tribulation this time would most likely take their lives. Even if they were lucky enough to survive, they wouldn't be able to withstand the thunder tribulation. Sima Yue looked at the Ghost King's figure. Even at this time, she could still feel his determination to not fall. Pa! This thunder tribulation was indeed much more powerful than the previous ones. After it came into contact with the chaotic river water, it spread rapidly and the entire surface of the water turned silvery white. In addition to the lightning from other places, the entire kingdom seemed to have become a cage made of thunder tribulation. The small enchantment around Sima Yue didn't have any effect at all. It was broken by the thunder tribulation immediately. At that moment, she used all her strength to hug the cat and dog beside her. Sima Yue felt that she was going to disappear. She seemed to see her parents crazily rushing over, and Ling Yu's desperate eyes. There was a deep reproach in his eyes, as if he was accusing her of not keeping her promise. She seemed to have promised him that she wouldn't do such a dangerous thing again. "I'm sorry, I went back on my words again." Chapter 2160. The scene in front of them frightened everyone. They never thought that they would see something like this one day. Someone even used a shadow stone to record this scene, and spread it around. Later on, many people studied what kind of water it was that caused the lightning tribulation to end. When the lightning tribulation struck, the heavenly axiom felt the aura of the chaotic river, and finally acknowledged the Ghost King. In addition, the cloud spirit intentionally went easy on him. So the lightning tribulation cloud quickly dissipated. Once the lightning tribulation cloud passed, the power that bound them disappeared. Wu Lingyu immediately teleported to Sima Yue's side. However, just as he hugged Sima Yue, before he could save her, he was sent flying by a force. He hugged Sima Yue and bore the brunt of the force. After he stabilized himself, he turned around and saw the black fog in the sky. Someone wanted to go through the black fog to help the Ghost King, but once he entered, he let out a scream. Roar! A low roar came from the black fog, which made everyone's hair stand on end. Then it began to move slowly. As long as it came into contact with someone, they would hear that person scream. What is that? Everyone stepped back in fear. The more unknown, the more fearful. Others did not know, but Wu Lingyu knew. This black fog was Little Black, who had its seal removed, and it was flying towards them. Sima Yue was in a critical situation now. At this time, Little Z had fainted because it had absorbed too much lightning tribulation, so it could not suppress it. If Little Black attacked at this time, The consequences would be unimaginable. Roar! Little Black's roar was filled with intense anger and hatred. Everyone could feel that it was filled with killing intent towards Sima Yu at this moment. Just as Ming was about to attack, Sima Yu seemed to have sensed something and called out in her unconscious state, "Little Black, be good." Little Black's body paused, as if it was struggling. Finally, the black fog slowly gathered and turned into Little Black. Little Black dragged its injured body and slowly came to Sima Yu. It reached out its claws to touch her, but it passed through her body that was about to dissipate. Woof! It let out a weak cry before fainting as well. Sima Yu did not know how long she had been unconscious for. When she slowly regained her consciousness, she remembered what happened in the capital city. She did not die? She was saved again? She did not know how her grandfather was. She tried to open her eyes, but her eyelids were too heavy and she could not open. She released her divine sense, wanting to know where she was, but she was stunned by the scene in front of her. What did she see? Was that her body in the human realm? After so many years, her body was still maintained, was still in good condition. Why was there still a faint white light? That of the white light was of the Sima of the Yueware of Sima of Sima of Sima of Sima. Sima of Sima. At this moment, the door to the secret room opened and Musi walked in. After not seeing him for so many years, he had completely grown up. Sima Yu wanted to call out to him, but she couldn't make a sound. "Master, when will you wake up?" Musi looked at Sima Yu. His eyes were red. "Master, as long as you wake up, I will not think of anything else. I will be obedient. I have activated my constitution. I am very powerful now. I have learned everything you taught me. Wake up quickly and check on my homework, all right?" Sima Yu wanted to open her mouth to reply, but no sound came out. At this moment, the door of the secret room opened again. This time, a person in a black cloak came in. Sima Yu looked at the cloak and thought of the black-robed men. It was them? They were not from the Sage Pavilion? She had exposed them at the Sage Pavilion. Could it be that the Guild Alliance and the people on the road did not get rid of them? And NBSU read The Crazy Wife. 5th Miss of the Divine Doctor. Chapter 2160. Crazy Wife. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter is not connected to the previous chapter. Please search the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Search for Crazy Wife. 5th Miss of the Divine Doctor. Watch. Chapter 2161. The Sima family was in an uproar today. The news of Sima Yue waking up spread throughout the family in just a few minutes. Sima Qing, Sima Zhiyuan, Sima Lai, Huang Yingying, Sima Hishun, Sima Luxian, Yukaluo, Sima Lufeng, Sima Lu Yun and the others all ran over immediately. Seeing that Sima Yue was really in front of them, their eyes all turned red. Sima Yue was also very emotional when she saw them, but she also felt that it was funny. Sima Zhiyuan was holding the teacups, Sima Lu Yun was holding the pen, and Huang Yingying was holding the oar. They really rushed over the moment they heard that she woke up. They didn't even have time to put down the things in their hands. However, seeing that her parents were also here, she felt a little more at ease. The fact that they were here meant that there shouldn't be any problems in the ghost realm. Old ancestor, great-grandfather, great-uncle, grandfather, grandma, father, mother, Uncle Lu Yun and Uncle Lu Feng. Sima Yue bowed to them. "I'm sorry to have made you all worried." Good, you're finally awake." Huang Yingying went up and hugged her. "My poor darling, you've suffered too much." "Grandma, I'm fine now." Sima Yue hugged her tightly. "You're fine now, you were just watching before. It was too heart-wrenching." Sima Lai went up and pulled her back. All right, Yu has already woken up. Don't cry anymore." "I'm not crying." Huang Yingying glared at Sima Lai, but she also let go of Sima Yue. "All right, don't just stand here, let's go back first. Yue definitely has a lot of things to ask us," Sima Qing said. Who dared to disobey the old ancestor's words? So the group walked back to the family. Yu Kuluo came to Sima Yue's side and held her hand tightly. This was the first time she had the chance to get close to her daughter. "Mother, what exactly happened? Why did I return to my body? How's grandfather? Where's Lingyu? Sima Yue had too many questions in her heart. They're all fine. Let's talk as we walk. Yu Kuluo patted her hand and pulled her to keep up with the rest. During the great calamity that day, you and your grandfather were both heavily injured and on the verge of death. You almost vanished into thin air. Yu Kuluo still had some lingering fear when she recalled the scene that day. She unconsciously tightened her grip on Sima Yue. Sima Yue also remembered the situation at that time. At that time, she really thought that she was going to die, so she was very surprised to be alive again. Yu Kuluo reined in her emotions and continued. Your grandfather's condition is better. He will be fine after resting for a while. But you're different. If it wasn't for the Nether King, I'm afraid. Sima Yue could imagine how they felt when they saw that they were about to die. She patted Yu Kuluo's hand and said, Mother, I'm here. I'm sorry, Mother was frightened. Yu Kuluo said. How did Ming save me? Sima Yue tried to divert her attention. At that time, your soul was about to dissipate. He used his underworld energy to control your body. That day, Ghost Realm Imperial Capital, everyone gradually woke up from the lightning calamity. Looking at the devastation, no one had the mood to lament. After knowing that the Ghost King's condition was not that bad, Yu Kuluo placed all her attention on Sima Yue. Wu Lingyu was transferring spiritual energy to Sima Yue, trying to stabilize her condition. But her body was becoming more and more transparent, showing signs of dissipating. No. Don't. Wu Lingyu hugged her in fear, but realized that he could not hold her anymore. You promised me that you would live well. You can't die. Yue, I beg you, don't leave me behind. Yu Kuluo saw the tears at the corner of Wu Lingyu's eyes and was stunned. He was actually crying, seeing Sima Yue's body becoming more and more transparent. She turned to look at Chanshan. Mother, quickly save you or let me try. Chanshan went over, her hand emitting a faint glow. That glow allowed her to grab onto Yue's hand. She tried to transfer the spiritual energy in her body to Sima Yue's body, trying to control her dissipating soul. And end the crazy wife. Divine Doctor 5th Miss, that you read chapter 2161. Divine Doctor, the anti-theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter is not connected to the previous chapter. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After entering, search for Crazy Wife. Divine Doctor 5th Miss Watch. Chapter 2162. She did not know what that ball of white light was. But when she inherited the inheritance, Cloud Spirit struck her especially hard, saying that this thing would change many things in the future. Could it be that it meant that it would help her merge? Or what are you thinking about? Yu Kuluo noticed that she was distracted and asked her. Nothing much. What happened after that? Sima Yue smiled. Since Nether King said that it would be best for you to return to your body, we naturally did not object to it. So we requested to come along. Yu Kuluo continued to recall. Nether did not agree, right? Indeed. Even if we are your parents, he did not bring us back. Yu Kuluo was speechless about Nether. But he brought Lingyu with him. He actually brought Lingyu with him. Sima Yue was surprised. Based on her understanding of Nether, he should not have brought anyone with him. Lingyu's attitude was firm, so Nether King agreed. Ming agreed. Yu Kuluo said, we only heard about it after we came. When Ming brought you here, it gave the family members a fright. They thought that some powerful enemy had come. After they saw Wu Lingyu, they did not get into a conflict. For someone like Nether who directly entered the territory of a powerhouse, it would be seen as a provocation. Sima Yue was thankful that she brought Lingyu along. Patriarch and the others listened to Lingyu's words, and immediately brought them to the secret room. Ming sent your soul back to your body, and then fed you some kind of pill. The thing in your body began to emit white light and enveloped you completely. After you stabilized, Lingyu went to the Devil Realm. He said that the situation there could not wait any longer. Sima Yue understood that the Devil Realm was not doing well. Previously, when she asked him to go back, he insisted on saving her mother. Then when you came over, how was grandfather? He recovered long ago. Kuluo said. Because we knew that you were fine, we did not rush back. Firstly, it was because your grandfather had just been robbed and needed to recuperate. We were worried if we left without a care. Secondly, it was because the Anaheim had messed up those dynasties, so we cleaned them up. We only came back when the world of spirits and souls had almost stabilized. What about Anaheim? Sima Yue asked. Although the way and time of her return were a bit different from what she had expected, speaking of which, her trip to the ghost realm was already quite successful. His only regret was that he did not manage to kill Anaheim. However, Mou and the others also said that it was best to let grandfather deal with Anaheim. Thinking about it this way, it wasn't a big deal. When Anaheim saw that your grandfather had advanced in rank, she ran away. However, he was quickly caught and brought back. Most of the people she met were actually loyal to your grandfather. Previously, he had been instigated by her because he had been in seclusion for too long, causing some misunderstandings. Therefore, the Anaheim didn't have many places to hide. Did grandfather kill her? He should have been killed. At that time, no one knew what the two of them were talking about inside. But your grandfather was the only one who came out. And Anaheim's life tablet is also broken. It's good that she's dead. It was a pity that she couldn't see it with her own eyes. The capital was destroyed in that calamity, but now it has returned to its original state. Sima Yue then thought of a very important question. Mother, how long have I been in a coma? It will be your 200th birthday in 2 months. How long do you think you've been sleeping for? Waiting every day is so long. Mother is really worried that you'll keep sleeping. Kuluo was not even willing to think about the waiting time. Sima Yue was speechless. It would be her 200th birthday in 2 months? Then didn't she sleep for tens of years? To the clan, you've been sleeping for more than 100 years. Sima Lufeng coincidentally heard her words and said. Sima Yue thought about it. Wasn't that right? She had been in the ghost realm for tens of years. Adding these tens of years, it would be more than 100 years. More than 100 years was not a short period of time. She didn't expect that after so many years, the clan did not relax at all. It's really a long time. She sighed. It's really long. Our clan has already developed into a first-rate force. Sima Lufeng continued. Now when we talk about the Sima family, we don't dare to offend them. So fast. With all the things you've done for the clan, this speed isn't considered fast. Sima Luyin said. She and Kuluo were talking about the same thing. The others started to join in their conversation. That's right, you've left so many things. If we can't develop, wouldn't we be too useless? Sima Lufeng said. Sima Yue thought about it and agreed. She had left so many ancient ores, so many ancient spirit beasts, and the inheritance of perfect fusion spirit techniques, imperial beast arts, countless ancient pill recipes, etc. The Sima family wasn't stupid. It was impossible for them to not develop under such circumstances. But she still felt that this speed was too fast. Other than leaving so many things for us, you also left us a condition for development. Sima Hishun continued. A very important condition. Sima Yue was confused. Other than those things, she didn't remember leaving anything else? Connections. Sima Hishun continued. You saved those presidents in the Sage Pavilion, and even found out about the black-robed men's scheme, so everyone gave us a lot of convenience because of you. There are also many wandering cultivators who admire your reputation, and are willing to join the clan. Now the clan has taken in many experts and talented people with different surnames. Will this bring trouble to the clan? Sima Yue asked worriedly. After all, they weren't from the clan. It was possible for them to have other ideas. We've thought about this long ago. So those who want to join the Sima family have to swear an oath. Those who aren't willing to swear an oath will be confiscated by the clan. Chin Chin, Sima Yue cried out. Oh no, she wouldn't think that I stood her up, right? Speaking of oaths, she thought of Chin Chin. She had promised to bring her to the human realm. Don't worry, Chin Chin and the others followed us to the human realm. Kuluo continued. They're now in Paramount Valley with your senior sister. The two of them really got together? When we came back, we bumped into your senior brother and sister, who came to visit you. Both of them love to eat, so they got together. Yukuluo continued. Oh right, your senior brother and sister have children. They have children. Sima Yue was delighted. Doesn't that mean I'm promoted to an aunt? I'll go take a look later. Chapter 2163. The noisy clansman immediately quietened down and looked at Sima Yue guiltily. Seeing them like this, Sima Yue knew that something had really happened to Musi. Yue, we didn't take good care of your disciple. Sima Zhiyuan said. Musi went missing 10 years ago. Yue was injured and went into a coma, leaving behind such a disciple. They actually didn't take good care of him. She really felt guilty. 10 years. Was it because of the scene she saw the last time? How did he go missing? She asked. She hoped that it wasn't what she saw. He went to see you and then disappeared. Sima Hishun said. At that time, we trusted the spirit barrier, so we didn't send anyone to guard outside. So no one saw how he went missing. Because of Musi's disappearance, they sent more people to the secret room. We investigated for a long time, but we couldn't find out how he went missing. We have been tracking his whereabouts all these years, but there was no news at all. It was as if he had disappeared from this continent. Although Sima Yue had been in a coma for more than 100 years, the influence she left behind had not dissipated. When everyone heard that her disciple had gone missing, they immediately started to look for him. But even under such circumstances, there was still no news of Musi. This was too strange. Musi was special to Sima Yue. In order to save her father, his father died, causing him to be bullied and deceived since he was young. He struggled in life. Ever since they met, she had felt guilty towards him. Later on, he followed her and became her only disciple. Since he was the only one, she naturally doted on him more. She personally guided his cultivation and taught him alchemy. Their relationship was not ordinary. Everyone saw that Sima Yue didn't speak, so they didn't dare to speak. They had indeed let her down in this matter. After a long time, she opened her mouth and said, I know who did it. You know? Everyone was surprised. Wasn't she in a coma? I regained consciousness for a period of time, but I couldn't move my body. Sima Yue said. I released my consciousness and happened to see that scene. I thought that it was just my imagination. Looking at it now, it should be real. Then who captured Musi? Men in black. Sima Yue said. Black-clothed men? If someone else had said this, they might not have believed it, but since it was her, they still believed it. Haven't the men in black been dealt with? Sima Lufeng said. Ever since you killed the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master, the black-robed men haven't appeared. They all said that the black-robed men were done by the Sage Pavilion. Now that the Sage Pavilion is gone, the black-robed men are finished. That might not be the case. Sima Yue said. At that time, we only knew that those black-robed men were related to the Sage Pavilion, but it might not have been done by the Sage Pavilion. Perhaps it was just a collaboration or something. Or perhaps, it belonged to the Sage Pavilion, but was later taken over by someone else. They haven't appeared for over 100 years. Now that they've appeared again, could it be that they want to do something? More than 100 years ago, the men in black had extended their hands to many forces in the central and inner regions. They had even made a move against the major guilds, turning the entire continent upside down. After being silent for over 100 years, they were going to appear again? I'm not surprised about this. What I'm puzzled about is why they wanted to capture Musi. Sima Yue said. Did Musi go out to cause trouble? No. Sima Zhiyuan said. He rarely goes out and spends most of his time in the clan. Occasionally he would go out with the clan to do missions, but he's always with them. After he went missing, we asked the people who went out with him. He never got into a conflict with anyone. Could it be that he was captured because he was young Miss Disciple? Someone said softly. That shouldn't be the case. If it was because of Yu, they would have done it long ago and wouldn't have waited for over 100 years. Sima Hishun said. So it should be because of Musi himself. Sima Yue thought of something and furrowed her eyebrows slightly. Sima Jiyuan and the others knew that something had happened. They waved their hands and sent their clansmen away. The Crazy Wife Explosive. Divine Doctor, 5th Young Miss that you read. Chapter 2163. Divine Doctor, the anti-theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter and the previous chapter's content can't be connected. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After entering, search for Crazy Wife Explosive. Divine Doctor, 5th Young Miss watch. Chapter 2164. After everyone agreed, Sima Yoyue's protest was ineffective, so this matter was settled. When the Sima family heard that they were going to hold a birthday party for Sima Yoyue, they were all excited. These few days, they could hear their clansmen excitedly discussing this matter, wherever they went. Not only that, but she was also treated as a patient. She couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. She had to rest well. They even called a few doctors to examine her body. Sima Yoyue was speechless. She was a doctor herself, but she still had to call people to examine her? Doctors don't treat themselves. Also, if you are hiding something from us, how would we know? That one sentence blocked all of her excuses. How was she going to tell them that the ball of white light nourished her body and soul very well, that she didn't feel anything at all, and that her body was good and she ate delicious food? They wouldn't believe her even if she said it, but she didn't want them to worry, so she felt bored like a half-disabled person in the courtyard. She moved the rocking chair to her small garden and placed fruits and snacks on the small table. She had just sent Sima Yun and the rest off, so she was sitting in the rocking chair and basking in the sun and boredom. Enlei helped her tidy up at the side. The sun was warm, and it made people feel warm. Enlei, let me tell you, it's still the sun in the human realm that's comfortable. Sima Yue sighed. Miss always says that the ghost realm is gray, but I haven't seen it before. Enlei continued. But I also feel that the human realm is the most comfortable. Enlei had been in the spirit pagoda the whole time. Because she had a lot of time, she learned quite a few things. It's been hard on you. Sima Yue said guiltily. There's nothing hard about following Mississippi. I can't help Miss at all. Enlei felt that meeting Sima Yue and being able to escape from the Eastern Life family was really a blessing in her previous life. Ah, Sima Yue suddenly thought of something and quickly took out the small door to Little Black Lotus Realm. She injected spiritual energy and opened the passage. The moment she entered, the people inside all felt it and looked at her. Aunt Xiang. Sima Yue came to the place where the Feng people lived and said apologetically, I'm sorry to have trapped you guys here for so long. Fortunately, the time here was the same as outside, and only 100 years had passed. If there was a difference between the time here and the spirit pagoda, it would be a torture. Miss Feng Xiang and the others were also very excited when they saw Sima Yue. Miss, did something happen to you? It's a long story, but it's all in the past now. Sima Yue said. Come with me. The Feng people can't contact you. They must be worried about you. All right. He had been here for more than 100 years. Chapter 2136. I'm not sure if it'll work. Sima Yue smiled and helped her to the soft couch she had prepared. Tell me about it. Qin Qin took a deep breath as she accidentally pulled on her wound. I saw that the way you went in was about the same. If I can imitate you, I might be able to. Sima Yue expressed her thoughts. That's a good idea. Qin Qin agreed. But there are some differences between our bodies. Even if you copy my movements, you might not be able to enter safely. Since I'm going to learn, I can't make any mistakes. Sima Yue said. What do you have in mind? You know that those national treasures are protected by infrared devices. If you want to get close quietly, you have to avoid those infrared devices. You want to use the same method? That's a good idea. We can simulate such an environment, and you can try to get through without touching any obstacles. After a while, you'll be able to grasp every position. Qin Qin blinked. I've only seen this on TV. Have you done something like this before? Ahem. I didn't say that I was a good person. Ha ha ha. Who cares if you were a good person or not? Then let's try it according to your method. You should rest first. When you're better, we'll We'll try again. Sima Yue said. Is there anything you want to eat? You know how to make it? I want to eat cola chicken wings. And French fries and fried chicken drumsticks. Qin Qin stared at her with sparkling eyes. Okay. Sima Yue quickly made what Qin Qin wanted to eat. Of course, everyone else had a share too. Qin Qin gnawed on the chicken drumsticks and wings and sighed in satisfaction. I can finally eat the familiar taste again. How did you make cola chicken wings? I used a type of spiritual fruit acid to replace cola. Sima Yue said. You're so good at cooking. Your husband is so lucky. I've been here for so many years and I want to eat these things, but I can't make them taste the same. Qin Qin said. Just tell me what you want to eat in the future. As long as it's not something I haven't eaten before, I can basically make it taste the way you want, Sima Yue said with a smile. All right. Qin Qin looked at her sympathetically. You're doomed. Now that I know about your culinary skills, I'm sure I'll always ask you to cook for me. So what? Sima Yue did not feel miserable. I used to have friends and my senior sister who loved to eat. I often cooked for them. Really? Of course. If you go to the human world in the future, you might be able to meet him. Especially that senior sister of mine. Eating is the most important thing in her life. It's a pity that her culinary skills are mediocre, and she often poisons herself. This is quite similar to me. If you have the chance, you must meet your friends. You can come with me when I return to the human world. Chapter 2165. I know that it's hard to investigate, so I wanted to ask for your help. Sima Yue continued. But looking at you, I don't think you have the time to go back and investigate. That's true, you're just having fun in Ghost City. Sima Yue said seriously. Then I'll have to trouble Big Brother and Third Brother. Sima Yue did not stand on ceremony. I'll get them to investigate later. Siyu continued. Don't just lie there. Weren't you yelling that you were bored? Make something for me to eat. I haven't eaten anything you made for over 100 years. Forget it. I heard you yelling that you were bored at the entrance. Siyu rolled her eyes at her. Thinking about how they were gluttons, she felt that it was possible. She made a table full of dishes, making Siyu extremely happy. The whole table couldn't wait to dig in. All right. Sima Yue took out 3 bottles of fruit wine and opened them. This time, she gave all the fruit wine to Cloud Spirit. These were rebrewed by Little Spirit all these years. Sima Yue smiled and gave the other bottle to Third Mo. Third Mo took the bottle, but he didn't drink it, playing with it in his hands. I'm thinking about how it tastes. Third Mo smiled. Third Mo pursed his lips, raised the bottle and drank a mouthful, then looked at her and said, Actually, I feel that it's better if I didn't know you. I'm serious. Third Mo continued. Knowing you makes me sad that I can't see you anymore. I feel that you're no longer in this world. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't be sad if you died. Third Mo glanced at her and said lightly, Based on your past performance, your words are completely untrustworthy. Come, let's celebrate you finally waking up. Siyu raised the bottle and said to the 2 of them. Sima Yue heard this and smiled, standing up to welcome them. She saw Little Helper standing outside the restaurant, dressed in white. Big Sister Yue. Little Helper smiled at Sima Yue, moving heaven and earth. Little Helper's eyes filled with tears, he reached out to hug Sima Yue, leaning his head on her shoulder and said, Big Sister Yue, you're finally back. Little Helper only leaned for a while and said, I haven't eaten Big Sister Yue's food in a long time. Can we eat together today? Siyu heard what she said and pouted. You're so biased. You only cooked for me when I asked you to. Now that Little Helper is here, you take the initiative to ask him what he wants to eat. Bite you. Forget it, just make me a dish of honey chicken wings. Siyu said. No need these, Little Helpers to Yu's to Yue. Yu's right, Yuyus, Yue. S2 what's that? Siyu asked curiously. Sima Yue looked at Little Helper. His aura was becoming more and more similar to Yin Lin's. Oh, it was the feeling of a con man. It was really similar. She was indebted to him, but she didn't even have the chance to thank him. Yes, I know. But in my heart. Sima Yue smiled. Forget it, let's not think about these things. Come, it's not easy for us to reunite, let's celebrate. Somewhere in the inner area, in a huge room, a figure was hidden in the darkness. Someone pushed the door open and knelt on the floor. Master, Sima Yue is awake. Chapter 2166. It was bustling outside the Sima family. Many people were talking about Sima Yue. Sima Yue and Xiao Tong heard it when they were taking a stroll in the family. Xiao Tong smiled politely. What's there to get used to? We have to keep going. Xiao Tong looked at her. The smile on his face was much more sincere. As he smiled, his smile became bitter. Tears started to form in his eyes. You are the best diviner now. Your master will be proud of you. Sima Yue comforted him. Sima Yue patted Xiao Tong's shoulder and sighed softly. Silly child. Your master doesn't want you to feel guilty for the rest of your life. He used the rest of his life to save you from death. It is his love for you. He hopes that you will be well. This requires you to walk out from the knot in your heart. No matter what others say, they are just empty words to you. Sima Yue said. But no matter what, I will support you. He was happy that there was someone who cared about him. Is it related to the men in black? Sima Yue asked. Can you predict who is the mastermind behind the men in black? Sima Yue saw his strange expression. He seemed to be surprised and in disbelief at the result of the divination. She asked, what's wrong? A very ancient aura? What does that mean? Sima Yue asked curiously. A very ancient aura. How long is it? Sima Yue thought of the aura spirits that were born in the graveyard. Those were formed after hundreds of thousands of years. But it is related, Xiao Tong said. Not only that, you are also in it. I can't predict it, so I am not sure, Xiao Tong said. Your divination is surrounded by clouds. I can't see it clearly. I will go deep into it, she asked. I know. Since things are coming, let them come. I have nothing to be afraid of, Sima Yue said. Thank you, Xiao Tong. But, don't you all have a secret that cannot be revealed? Tell me, will you be punished? Sima Yue was worried about him. That's good. Sima Yue nodded. Oh right, can you help me predict Mu Si? Why did they capture Xiao Tong? Is it because of his background? Is he still safe? Sima Yue couldn't understand why Mu Si was the key to this matter, but knowing that his life was not in danger, she was relieved. Your old friend is here. Yue reminded her. Zhao's guess, but he didn't say anything. I'm telling you, there's no anticipation. I am Master's disciple, and was brought up by Master. Naturally, I am very similar to Master. Sima Yue guessed many things. Her brothers, Fatty Chu and the others, her senior brothers and sisters, Qin Mo and the people from the heavenly sect, but she didn't get it right. A 6 or 7-year-old child hugged her waist and complained. Ayaya, little Ten, where did you go? I've been waiting for you for so long. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.